Lanham, and then you have your co-host, Scarlet Anonymous, who will be here shortly. So tonight, this past week, me and Scarlet has found out some interesting subjects. One of them we're not going to talk about till she gets here, because she's the one who found it and has read the more of the information. So we're going to talk about phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 of reopening the country, and then we're really going to get down into the nitty gritty. Are we going too fast, or are we just kind of just hanging here and going to let them do what they want to do? Because some states are opening up too slow, some states are opening up too quick in people's opinions. So me and Scarlett, we're going over Mike Dwayne, the governor of Ohio's plan to open up the state of Ohio. President Trump issued what he called phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 of said agenda. Basically, Mike DeWine wanted to come in and open up the country as quick as he could. Until coming out on Sunday on CNBC, it was a night talk. It was one of their shows, coming on and saying that he plans to open up the state of Ohio in phases. We also did get word this morning that all schools will stay closed the rest of the year in the state of Ohio. Spring, that includes spring sports and possibly fall summer sports, and that includes kids walking for graduation. So I'm really irritated about this fact that we have people, we have kids that have earned this fact. We have kids with special needs that need the one-on-one with teachers and cannot do the e-learning. And then we have parents that probably never stepped up and watched their kid or taught their kid probably barely anything. And now they're trying to teach them how to do schoolwork. So, I mean, it's just we're seeing a lot of arising problems, a lot of false, a lot of red flags. And it's starting to concern me with the way that the country is acting. Certain states are saying that they will not reopen until they have a vaccine. Some states are open like we need to get open now. Which the vaccine thing, like I said before, and I will say this again, you will not put a vaccine in my body or a ID 2020. I will be putting a bullet in the side of my head. I will state that every time I talk about this vaccine because of the fact of the importance that this vaccine has not even went through animal testing. It's skipping animal trials and going right into human trials. Me and Scarlett's already seen where people, Scarlett, was it Canada? I think it was Canada that was paying people to take this vaccine. And I mean, like, that is not okay. That is not okay actually at all whatsoever to have, a vaccine skip animal trials, because animal trials is where they find all the ins and the outs to a vaccine. And it scares me that people wouldn't want this thing tested until they don't want it going in the animal trials and just going straight to human trials. Now, mind you guys, we take this vaccine, more likely more people will probably die, right? Scarlett's also even said our death toll for anything as of right now is lower than what it has been, and God knows how many years. So it's the simple matter of the fact that, guys, we don't know what the heck this vaccine is. We don't know what it's going to do to the human body. We really have to watch for these things due to the fact that when, this comes out, because of the fact that they're going to try to force it on all Americans. Um, if you guys are watching, I'm gonna say this at the beginning of the show also. If you guys would like to donate, go to freedomrevolutionnetwork.com, click the donate tab. You can either donate to the network itself, or you guys can contribute to shows. We also have a coronavirus dollar bomb, which is $1, $5, or $10 where you can give. If you guys like what we do, like what we have, the material we have, and the shows that we have, please donate. We have so many pills, not so many pills, so many shows, not just the Night Talk or the Red Pill Show or the original Red Pill Show, or as my favorite show on here is Clarity After Dark. We have so many different shows like Journey into Freedom, Liberty Librarian. I think them are the only two. Only other two shows. As of right now, we have another show coming up. I don't remember the name of it. Then we have Survivors Martini. I think that's the name of it. Don't quote me. I could be wrong. Really, chat? Scarlett, where you at? This is where I kind of need you. Oh, that's why. Hotspot shut off. Whoops. Hold on. So here in a minute, I'm going to pull this link up and we're going to go ahead and look at the different phases. Look at the different phases of the way the president wants to open up the United States of America. And it's funny that I talk about this because everybody is against President Trump for opening up the economy. Doctors, Dr. Fauci himself, which he can go crawl in a hole and never come back out. Certain things like this, and guys, I just cannot fathom what we're gonna do when the economy opens. Like, what are we gonna do? Are you guys gonna stay at home where we're supposed to be? Or we not gonna stay at home? We're gonna go out, possibly catch this thing, and then carry it back to our kids. So it's just a simple matter of the fact of all of this, and I have never seen an outbreak like this in a while. But the funny thing is the death rate. Nobody else has died of anything else. And guys, my chat for some reason on YouTube is not working. I cannot get it to actually work. So if I'm not trying to ignore y'all in the chat, I just can't see you. Just can't see you as of this moment. Not even on my phone can I see you. But yeah, I mean, guys, we've got so much stuff going on. I mean, I don't even know where to begin with this, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, like I said, and we're going to go pull up this document that I shared on my Facebook page that talks about the different plans of opening up the state of Ohio. So, stay. God, let's see here. All right, guys. Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. When Ohio Governor Mike DeWine announced last week plans to start reopening the state, he didn't offer many details. During an appearance on NBC's Meet the Press Sunday morning, DeWine offered some new insight into what Ohioans could expect. We're going to do what we think is right, what I think is right, and that is try to open this economy, but do it very carefully so we don't get a lot of people killed. That right there, in my mind, raises so many red flags in my mind. You know, you don't want to get people killed. Okay, I get that. You don't want to get people killed. TLO, if you're feeling well, bud, hop on here. Let's have some fun with this. But we have to come back, and that's what we're aiming to do beginning on May 1st. Frankly, it is consistent and very well consistent with the plan. The very thoughtful plan that the president has laid out. That's just fine. They have every right to do that. We have to come back, and that's what we are aiming to do on May 1st. President Trump's plan through the 3 different phases, which you can read in read here in full. Below is an outline of the Trump administration's guidelines, which may offer a hint of what Ohioans can expect, since Dwayne says his plan is very consistent with this one. Phase 1. All vulnerable individuals should continue to shelter in place. Members of households with vulnerable residents should be aware that by returning to work or other environments where distancing is not practical, they could carry the virus back home. Precautions should be taken to isolate from vulnerable residents. All individuals, when in public, parks, outdoor recreation, shopping areas should maximize physical distance from others. Social settings of more than 10 people where appropriate distancing may not be practical should be avoided unless precautionary measures are observed. Avoid socializing in groups of more than 10 in circumstances that do not readily allow for appropriate physical distancing. Includes receptions and trade shows. Minimize non-essential travel and adhere to CDC guidelines regarding isolation following travel. Employers continue to encourage telework whenever possible and feasible with business operations. If possible, return to work in phases. Close common areas when personnel are likely to congregate and interact or enforce strict social distancing protocols. Minimize non-essential travel and adhere to CDC guidelines regarding isolation following travel. Strongly consider special accommodation for personnel who are members of a vulnerable population. Specific types of employers, schools, and organized youth. Or to do something. Mother Nature is killing our food supply. Crops can't grow too cold, and tornadoes took out poultry farms in the south. Yeah, they did. I did see that. Organized youth activities, daycare, camp that are currently closed should remain closed. Visitors to senior living facilities and hospitals should be prohibited. Those who do interact with residents and patients must adhere to strict protocol guidelines. I got a request. That is our friend TLO. It is our he's wearing a mask. Holy shit. TLO, do you have your audio on, Goofy? There it is. All right, you gotta unmute yourself again.
What's going on?
Yo, what is up, my brother? Wearing a mask in the house. What is up with that?
Oh, you can hear me now.
Oh, I can hear you now. What is up with the mask, though, inside the house? That's a new one.
I thought I'd join the festivities.
Join the festivities, and wearing a mask inside your house is a new trend created by Ramla Shelton. Just saying. Thanks, TLO. You started a trend.
Yeah, right.
I'm taking on it. You know I am. But no. So, TLO, as we're sitting here reading, as we're sitting here, and you've been hearing me probably for the past couple minutes, sitting here reading the first phase of the president's plan of opening up the economy, right? So, yeah. What are you thinking of this phase 1? Because we're going to talk about each phase here for a minute.
Well, I just caught just a small tidbit of it, but I don't know. I'm sure, just like I said earlier, um, once they start these phases or whatever, and then there's all of a sudden like a small little outbreak or something, everyone will freak out, and then they'll shut it all down again, anyways. So
Right where we go back to being on a stay-at-home order.
yeah, exactly.
So, like, here's my thing. I agree with people saying that we need to open the economy back up. Yes, we do. We really need to open the economy back up. But
I
the
totally
phase,
agree with that.
but the phases, like schools, okay. As we all know, Scarlett, which is our co-host tonight, whenever she gets back from doing her thing, um, you know, has a kid with special needs, where they need more, more help with education.
Yes, it's not as straightforward as it would necessarily be.
Right. And like they're still saying that visits to senior living facilities and hospitals should be prohibited. They're not opening that back up until like phase two.
I'm surprised they even have that in phase two.
No, let's look at phase two. Okay. Because I've been sitting on this page for a good minute. Phase two. They're still saying all vulnerable individuals for continue to shelter in place. Members of households with vulnerable residents should be aware about that by returning to work or other environments where distancing is not practical, that they could carry the virus back home. Precautions should be taken to isolate from vulnerable residents. All individuals in public parks, outdoor recreation shopping areas, things like that, should maximize physical distancing from others. Social settings of more than 50 people where appropriate distancing may not be practical should be avoided. So, okay, so we went from 10 and we just jumped up by 40. Phase two, right?
Right.
So phase two, they're now talking about, that you can gather in more areas, non-essential travel can resume. Okay, and here's my thing. If somebody that lives in a family setting, and it's, say it was like, I don't know, me and my mother, okay, and we wanted to go on a drive, even in phase one, we should still be able to get in a car and go drive somewhere, even if it's just driving around. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because of the fact you're not breaking the social distancing order because you live in the same household with the person.
And it also makes a difference as well, where you're located,
Right.
because certain states aren't enforcing as serious of penalties as other states are. And you can totally tell that probably the states that aren't
Right.
hardest hit are a little bit more laxed and a lot less tense than, say, states like California or New York.
Right. See, and you know what? I agree with that.
Because
You know,
here they don't, they're not as hardcore with checking people out, that sort of thing. They're very hands off, to be all honest. But yeah, because there's people that congregate all the time during the day, especially along some of our busier streets in the inner city. And yeah, it just seems like hands off and everyone kind of does their own thing. You see some of the people out there wearing masks, but not as much as you would possibly think, given the circumstances.
right.
But there's still a lot of stigma, especially in the minority communities, about wearing masks. I don't, as you can see, I don't really care. I've got specially made ones. I've got ones that were made for me by other people. So I've got a couple of different styles, ones that even kind of go with
Right.
some
I
of my
mean, you're frozen
wardrobe.
right now, so I can't. You're frozen right now, so I can't see. We can't see you.
What was that?
You're frozen. I don't think you're in. I think you're not in the Zoom app. You froze. Your video froze.
Oh, it does that sometimes.
But like the fact of the matter is like, in phase two, they're saying schools can reopen,
Right.
but it's the hospitals and senior living cares centers can't open back up for visitors.
Yeah, well, it all goes or plays into that, vulnerable, that's the front line, blah, 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 and the war against the coronavirus, all that spiel. Um, so I can see that. I can still see that. I wouldn't doubt it if that's one of the last things that they would open up. And there's a lot of talk out there that this is all, as I was saying, is basically kind of just maneuvering or trying to appease people somewhat, because the minute that there's like a little outbreak or increase in whatnot, like everyone's going to probably go back to shelter in place and lockdown situations anyways. So regardless of what steps or levels or phases they want to frack and call this, it's all kind of just, it's frivolous, man. It is. It's kind of pointless. They're wasting time because like they could be appointing more resources to more testing, because apparently they want to be able to frack and test so many damn people. And it's like, if people actually do the numbers of like the testing, like you have to compare it. The only other thing you can compare it to for like mass production and like distribution would be cigarettes, because
Right,
they're talking about testing like millions of people a day. Like, do you realize just one
man.
month that would be like, we're talking hundreds of millions of people and hundreds of millions of tests.
Right, and
Do we have the infrastructure? Do we have the actual
the
physical
manpower.
capabilities to even frack and produce that many tests in the first place? That's what I want to know. It's like they already say that
Right,
they're having trouble,
right.
producing them and implementing now. Like most places are averaging like between 7 and like maybe 15,000. Some places can do close to 20,000 when they're pushing it tests a day. And these fracking fools are talking about, hundreds of thousands, if not millions a day. Like if you're, worried about
Right.
the system being, overburdened or whatever bullshit, like do you think that's going to be an easy feat? And that's why they're talking about making like this whole separate organization, another group or another government organization, these trackers they want to call them. Like pretty much you'll have to call them like enforcers or some craziness when we come to like some post-apocalyptic shit. um but like talking about these people that'll be like social tracking, so like if people do come up with it, they'll like hunt people down that have been like in proximity. And like it just sounds like some Minority Report shit, man. Like it sounds like really intense, and like most people don't realize it because they're beating us over the head with all this, fear about the virus, and it's like this big killer. But so far, like, let's be honest, people, the numbers show that it still pales in comparison to the regular flu.
Right.
So,
And me and Scarlett were literally just talking about this. You know that we're not seeing anybody else die of literally anything else besides COVID-19.
right. And they're don't get me wrong, it's a lot of people dying, but is it really like we're shutting everything down? We're, you know, basically destroying businesses. Like I've seen so many businesses around here that I guarantee it won't come back.
Right.
Like
Right.
by by the end of this, it won't come back. And that's a lot of people don't realize it. That's a lot of people that are back out into that jobless situation, the unemployment. So like once again, we'll have a super high unemployment. And it'll be
Like they're
through no
talking.
fault of their own once again. It's not like people will be laid off because they're lazy ass jerks or something. It'll be because just because. And so there's going to be a whole nother wave. Like I just read an article today about how people don't realize that this is like just the beginning. Like there's going to be a whole larger wave of unemployment, rising the
Right.
unemployment numbers. Because yeah,
No.
there's going to be a lot of
Right.
jobs
And
that'll
you're
just go
correct.
away soon.
Like they're already talking about movie theaters not opening back up.
Yeah, correct.
Ever.
Like exactly. Like AMC is going to be like done and like gone. And that's a majority of the movie theaters that we have here in the Twin Cities. They're either AMC's, um, there's a couple of Regals, but
I was
like
about to say
that's
that's what we mainly have here is Regal Cinema. I think All Star County is a Regal Cinema production county.
right.
Literally. Besides like the dollar, like you have the dollar
Yeah.
theater here and there that's not
You'll
really
have a
associated.
few of those little independent guys that'll show, whatever films for a couple bucks for sure.
Right.
But yeah, no, all those the big ones are talking about not coming back. So if there's
Like
no more movies
I heard
there,
Dave and Buster's is talking about not opening up at all.
correct.
Like, and I'm going like, what the hell?
Yeah,
How are we supposed to go back to normalcy like the president wants when everything's shutting down and not opening back up? Like, what the fuck?
exactly. And then all the unemployment is like skyrocketing, and we'll face like unemployment as high, if not higher, than we had at the Depression. And I fucking foretold this. Like, let's be real, y'all. I actually said this numerous times on, I think, this program and other programs. I said, hey,
You said it here and on Tim's show.
yeah, I was like, this is just the beginning and it's going to get really bad. And people
I
are going
mean,
to
like,
start looking around and start saying, oh shit, like, wait a second, this is like bad. And it won't even really be the actual virus. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to diminish people's deaths here. The fact
this
of the
thing was
matter
mutating.
is people die. Like I seen people
Right.
die for the stupidest shit. Okay? The stupidest shit. And so like people dying, it sucks, it's bad, but it happens. And we're still not seeing, as I'm sure I didn't catch all of Ron's show because I had to step away at work. But I'm sure he probably talked about it. The fact that the numbers are still not there to warrant as much of the fear and panic that we've kind of exhibited so far.
Right. And bro, look at that. I want to go from this show to the last show from last Wednesday. Okay. Compared, I'm going to compare both of my shows here for a minute. Between this one and last week, things are getting a lot more serious since last week. A lot more interesting articles are popping up. I cannot introduce this one until Scarlett gets her ass back here. Because she's the one who found us and I know nothing about it. But we're going to address fuck, I'm hyper now. Oops. A comment that Lee said, but drive-ins are opening back up.
Well, yeah, that's part of that kind of plays into that social distancing. And hey, we
Because you
only
can
have
sit in
we
your
only have
car.
like 3 drive-ins in the whole entire state of Minnesota. So that's not
Bro, that's
necessarily
what
going to be like
I'm
the
seeing.
greatest thing.
Right. Like, here's the thing is like drive-ins are opening back up. Why can't a movie theater open? You can social distance yourself in a movie theater, for God's sake.
And it makes me concerned, to be honest, because there's just this weird, suspicious sort of
Behavior.
behavior, yeah, and patterns. Like they want us to avoid each other for some reason, and physical touch, and like stay away from each other, and it's weird. And I don't know if this is like part of some sort of plan, but it seems like it.
Right.
That's the point. Is it seems like something nefarious is going on, because it all comes down to that. It's like, oh yeah, well, we'll open stuff up, but we'll have to observe social distancing. So we'll open up restaurants,
Well,
but
like
they'll have to
there's
be
two
at
stages.
half of the capacity that they used to be. And for,
There's
I'm sorry, a fucking hole in the wall little diner that has maybe 30 tops, tops, 30 tabletops. That's, cut it down to 15 tabletops. That's going to be hard for them to like survive just on general
right.
principle, let
Like
alone
and
get
and
back
like
to normal.
and like here's the thing I was just getting ready to say is too is that the fact of the matter is that like I know a lot of mom and pop shop restaurants. Like we have a local business that has been in the city of Massillon since 1960 or 1970. Smiley's Pizza, one of the best pizzerias, and he's actually Italian. He's pure blood Italian and makes the best Italian food I've ever had. Mind you, our roads last year went on construction for the whole fucking summer, right? They were closed. They couldn't get any businesses in. They just opened back up in February. Now they had to shut their doors again and do carry out and delivery. But now they never did delivery, but now they're paying delivery drivers just to keep their business open. How are we going to force small businesses like that to do delivery and they're losing money in the process of it?
Yeah, no, and that's the truth of it. Is like they're forcing people, like, think of it this way, how much more restaurants have to invest in all that takeout shit, like all the little to go bags and boxes and all that, way more than they had to before. And like most people don't realize that, and they don't have the staff or the ability to keep the staff around or pay them, as far as they see that,
Right, like
overhead is always one of the first
waitresses
cut.
have been laid off or turned
Yeah,
into delivery drivers.
yeah. And that's another thing too. Is like, if this thing was so fracking serious, so end of the world, everyone shit your pants serious, why are they laying off hospital workers?
Right, see?
Why? Like, that makes absolutely no sense. Like,
Right,
at all.
right. Like my pastor, one of the pastors of the church I used to go to is a respiratory therapist. She's saying that the matter of the fact that she's possibly getting laid off.
Right. And it's
Why
like,
would you lay
why?
off a
Yeah.
respiratory therapist in the middle of an upper respiratory disease like COVID-19, where you need an upper respiratory therapist?
That's like firing Scotty or Bones on the Enterprise right when you're in the middle of a damn firefight.
Right?
You kind of need them.
You, and like I said, this is going to remind me of a movie, and this movie creeped me the fuck out because everything I've seen is coming back now. 2012.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Dude,
It's been reminding me of 2012 for a lot of reasons.
right.
A lot of
Like,
people are worried about the Cascadia. That kind of plays into the 2012 because there's a lot of shaking.
volcanoes going off like that in California.
Yeah.
The magma buildup that we seen that Ron showed us. And by the way, viewers, yes, I did get yelled at by my fiance for the wife joke that Ron had to make in the middle of the show and get everybody laughing. Yes, I got my ass kicked. She listened to it.
Well, at
Yes, I got
least
yelled at.
maybe afterwards you had some makeup.
Oh no, she beat my ass over the phone.
Oh, well.
I mean, but still, you know where I'm going with that. But like it's the fact of this is that And then we're seeing, and I'm hoping Scarlett pops in when I say this. I'm hoping she's listening. Is the fact of the matter is this, is that we're seeing leaders around the world start dropping. Like the one topic that Scarlett wants to talk about tonight, but she's currently away from the computer, is Kim Jong-un is falling sick.
Yeah. And
And
to be
that's
honest, I wouldn't doubt it if he does like end up dying, and like all of a sudden there'll probably be this huge coup and like this whole big deal. And then it'll come to find out that like basically half the population of North Korea is dead from the COVID virus. Because of the fact of the matter is their population in general is so sickly and just borderline like on death. Like I'm sure any sort of like virus would just decimate the population there.
right. And now they're saying chicken pox and stuff is possible signs of COVID-19.
Yeah, I
Chicken
saw that
pox.
talking about rashes and shit. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, I don't, I never heard that before from any of the reports. So I find that kind of interesting. I guess maybe it could be one of these damn mutations that they keep talking about.
Like me and my fiance said this. Once the 50 people or more can happen, we're planning our wedding and getting married sometime at the end of this year, just due to the flipping fucking spider. Sorry, guys. I hate spiders, so he had to die. But like me and my fiance is like when we can hold an actual wedding, we're getting married this year. Is it kind of going too fast? That no, we've only been with each other for 3 months now. Kind of. But the fact is, when will we ever be able to get married after this
That's a fair point.
year? So it's a scary fact of the matter of the fact is like there's so many. It's a bunch of fear mongering bullshit.
It is starting to get to be extreme. And that reminds me of the movie V for Vendetta.
That's like the 20th time you've referenced that movie on the show. I've got to watch this movie now.
You have to watch that movie because he'll be like, oh shit.
It's actually on Netflix, and I scroll past it every time. Like I'm not ready to watch it yet.
I wouldn't doubt if they would take it off because it's somewhat telling.
But the one movie I want to find, GLO, since we're on the subject of movies, I want to find this movie about COVID-19.
I wouldn't doubt if they try and hide that somehow too. So censor it somehow.
And then the fact is, I heard that Virginia and the state of Louisiana have declared martial law.
I definitely wouldn't doubt it in Louisiana, but Virginia definitely is surprising.
I mean, they can't do nothing about the Second Amendment as of now, thank God, because they became a constitutional safe zone.
Correct.
So have fun. You ain't trying to go in and kick down the doors of thousands of people that are a constitutional safe zone, and by law now you can't touch it.
Yeah, no, that won't pan out very well.
Oh, that's gonna be a firefight in itself.
Yes.
TLO. So here's my thing. Is that the fact is that, and you're gonna laugh. President Trump on Sunday during his coronavirus task force briefing, because he has one every fucking day now, threw the state of Ohio under the fucking bus. Completely threw Mike DeWine out and went like, look, I don't agree with the way you're doing things. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, well, he's not really picking his battles very well, that's for sure.
Bro, what, Dwayne?
No, Trump.
I mean, he is, but he isn't. I mean, I will support him 100% on this. If it's anybody that knows what they're talking about when it comes to the coronavirus, and right now it's him, because he's the one that's passing information along to the states. But then here's my thing: is that TLO, me, you, and Scarlett for the past month and a half that my show has been up, we've been talking about China has been the main fucking involver with the coronavirus.
Yes.
President Trump came out on Sunday and said this. He is not happy with China at all, whatsoever. Not happy. And I can agree with this point because he was going like, if it was an accident and this was not supposed to get out, I understand. Accidents happen. I'm gonna be upset, but I'm not gonna do anything about it. Here's the kicker. He said, if I find out this was on purpose and this was a biological, chemical warfare, you're going to face severe consequences. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump was on the brink of nuclear war with China.
It's possible, but he probably would try and employ other means because you can't tell me that they don't have some high-powered satellites up there that could do some damage. So,
Ooh. And that's just the thing. That is just the thing. The matter of the fact is that we don't know what weapons the government has anymore.
oh yeah, exactly.
Like, Russia is not supposed to be fucking experimenting with nuclear warheads and shit like that. Are they probably doing it behind our backs? Yes. North Korea, same way. China,
Oh,
same way. Uzbekistan, Pakistan, same way. But are they doing it behind our back? Probably.
yeah, most definitely.
So like, if Trump decides to go to war, dude, we're fucked. Because not only will we have China on our ass, we'll have Japan, Russia, North Korea. For some god fucking reason, we're no longer allies with the UK.
Well, the UK is struggling in its own, so
So it's the simple matter of this is like, if you decide to go into the brink of war, dude, who really are we gonna have to back our ass besides fucking Germany, Italy, and another fucking country? 4 countries versus 8 or 9.
yeah. Well, he wasn't a brilliant strategist, I'll tell you that.
Because, okay, let me point it to you like this. Any country that we have invaded over the past 50, 60, 70 years that we had no business being in, like Vietnam, nuclear war goes off, we're fucked. Because we're going to have so many of them hitting the U.S. from different countries
Well, yeah.
that don't like us.
The real thing is it wouldn't really matter if we start dropping nuclear bombs. Most of us are kind of effed anyways.
That's the sad factor. We truly are.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know, TLO. This is getting interesting by the watch and interesting by the minute. Because the fact is that we're basically at a complete standstill. You know, because the
Yeah,
smartest
pretty much.
bet that Trump would do if he found out that China was behind it was war crimes.
Oh yeah.
That is his best and safest option, in my eyes.
Yeah,
You see what I'm
sanctions and war crimes.
right? Like that's not, you don't have to declare war on this ship, but do we need another war at this point? Probably for the economy, probably so. I see it happening.
Well, as I said, they'll be too busy trying to mass produce, manufacture fracking COVID tests that it won't matter.
Dude, and then like the fact that everyone's saying the economy's crashing, right? Stock market hasn't crashed. Our stock market has been higher than it has been in the 30 plus fucking years since it's crashed.
It's been holding on. It's been doing all right.
I mean, Scarlett, come on, we need you here. She's just gonna come in like a wrecking ball here soon. TLO, it's just the fact of this. Like right now, like even mom said, because y'all know I'm getting ready to come back to my mom. Speaking of that, guys, we have 2 April birthdays. I'm gonna give him a shout out. Happy birthday to Scarlett's son. He turns 10 this year, today. And happy 41st birthday to my mother, who is upstairs. So happy birthday from Freedom Revolution Network. I'm not in the mood to sing today.
Yeah. It's not a singing day.
It is not a singing day. With all the shit that I've learned, dude, over the past weekend, me and Scarlett have been going over me. And this is what shocked me the most with my mother, who has really never wanted to talk about this TLO. And you've been on here with me at the house when when I'm at my mom's house, she has nothing to do with it. Her and Scarlett went at it for a good 2 hours on her show on Friday night. Like, there's conversations back to back about this. And I'm sitting here going like, you're a fucking woman. One woman that has really not said nothing about this. Now you're talking about it. Going like, are you mentally okay?
I don't think any of us will be mentally okay after this.
Oh, dude, it's getting bad. It's getting bad, and I mean, it's getting bad quick. Like, another movie I can think off on the top of my head because of these comets fucking coming on is Armageddon. 1990, a movie from the 1998 was when the film was released. But everything is made in right. Lee said, but everything is made in China. We need our manufacturing back in the U.S., including our pharmaceuticals. And I agree. But back to what I was saying, Chilo, that the movie Armageddon, because I brought this up on Friday when Scarlett was talking about this, that reminds me of Armageddon. No, it was at Independence Day.
Nah, Independence Day was the aliens.
That was a Will Smith movie.
Yeah.
Or another movie that pops into my head, and I don't know why. Don't ask. Is I Am Legend.
Yeah, a lot of people keep going back to that one.
I mean, it has the greatest. If we look at the end of it, when Will Smith, I think he dies. Yeah, he blows himself up in his house at the end of the movie, in the basement, and they find a cure. Like, the fuck?
Yeah, right.
So like that's why that movie pops into my head, and then like another one that is it's old is Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
That girl was deathly sick. And what did he need? A vaccine or a cure. I mean, so like, dude, I just had time to think and like sit down and go, like, are these worth things talking about?
No, I know. And another movie that comes to mind lately, especially with all this talk about these bracelets that we're supposed to be wearing, is one of actually I do believe her first movie, Scarlett Scarjo's first movie, The Island.
Oh, Lord Jesus Christ. Dude,
'Cause, like, when Scarlett was describing it the other night, I was like, wow, that sounds like so much like The Island. Like they can check what your sodium intake is if you're too close to somebody, like all that. I was like, that sounds exactly like that shit.
right. And it's like, you know, dude, like, I can name another movie right off the top of my head. I feel like I'm living on a Nightmare on Elm Street movie because I don't know what the fucking expect.
I, to be honest, I wish I could say that it'd be, a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but to be honest, with that, you'd have more tits. Just
Good
saying.
point. Good point. Never mind.
I'm sorry, I grew up on those. I literally saw Nightmare on Elm Street like when I was like 5 or 6. So,
Man.
oh yeah, I was easily and quite early corrupted.
Or I'm gonna go like to a chick flick that's for a guy that a guy can watch without losing his man card, right? I mean, Teal, I mean, you've talked about this on the phone before, where guys can watch chick flicks and not lose their man card.
Now I have
When we first
a
talking
couple
about
of chick flicks in my collection, so
perks of being a wallflower.
that's that's a decent one. I just saw one
Like
lately that was like really good, and it was kind of surprising, and like I forgot what the name of it was, but it I'll track it down and drop it one of these days. But yeah, it was a total chick flick movie, and it was like this guy had like one day to like convince this girl that love exists and shit. And actually, it was good. It was done well, and I was like, hey, I liked it.
right, and then there's one that really reminds me of this. I can't remember the fucking name of it. If she touches anybody, she lives in a hospital. But if she touches anybody, breathes on anybody, she that they will die. They will get this thing and they will die.
Hmm.
And like that's how like I'm kind of fucking loving this. Some days I'm afraid to give my mom a hug and a kiss.
No, I haven't hugged my mom in a month or so. So
I'm afraid to kiss my own son.
yeah, no, it's complicated things, as I was saying. Like I'm afraid that it might change us as humans and not for the better, and that's kind of disconcerting. Ugh. Yeah, let's see the other star of the show.
Garfield, fat cat.
That's right, the mascot. Have to make
The
her
mascot.
appearance.
Yo, if y'all actually want to donate, Scarlett said y'all can do this. If y'all want to donate, go to the donate box, go to freedomrevolutionnetwork.com, hit that donate box, go to tribute, and type Garfield.
Yeah, right. Garfield.
Garfield is the official mascot of Freedom Revolution Network. Also, guys, we have a new social platform. I did not tell anybody about this yet because I just kind of made it yesterday with Scarlett. We now have a TikTok account.
Trying to reach out to all those little spoiled brat youth, huh?
We're going to attempt. There's nothing wrong with it.
Well, you have to do some cutesy, silly shit. So that's what really gets them.
But also the fact that, like with the protests and everything going on, I'm going to start using it here too, due to the fact that when I go to the protest next week, for Governor Dwayne, I'm going up there on the first when he goes to speak. We're all going to go protest him again, even though he's opening up the country. We're going to protest. I'm going to log on and try to get a videotape of it. It's only going to be like 60 seconds, but hey.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to, if you have TikTok on your mobile devices, type in Freedom Revolution, and you'll see the picture that you see down here on the YouTube channel. Click that follow button. Click that, I don't think there's a subscribe button, and send us a message. Let us know who you are. Reach out. We're trying to reach out on many different platforms. I think Scarlett is also creating maybe an Instagram. I don't know. Like, oh, she's here. Hi, Scarlett.
Hello.
Oh, she decided to show up.
Nah, she was ordering seeds.
Seeds are important.
She was getting some seeds, which is important. Which is
well, yeah. Then I made myself something to eat, which was really tasty.
What are you eating?
What did I eat? I had some garlic shrimp.
Ooh.
And then I had some bacon. I set some bacon in the fridge, so that I did bacon wrapped asparagus.
Dude, I miss eating shrimp. I can't even eat shrimp anymore.
I love shrimp.
I have a shellfish allergy. And if you guys have a shellfish allergy and you guys donate plasma, do not let them use iodine on you.
Oh, that's very true.
Yeah, unless you were using nascent iodine, because that doesn't come from shellfish.
No, they were using iodine that comes from shellfish.
No, I know. Povidone iodine does, yes.
They didn't tell me this, so like when they would put the iodine on me and like I would get done donating, it wouldn't start itching until I was done and the needle was out.
Right.
I scratched like right here on my arm. Ooh, you're gonna die. Come here. Spider. Never mind. Sorry. I'm in a basement. I'm surrounded by spiders and everything.
I get it.
But no,
that's good to know though. Yeah, Red is also allergic to shellfish.
But here's the thing, I can eat crab legs.
Can you? Just shrimp for you, huh?
Just shrimp. I cannot eat shrimp, but I can eat like.
You know what I had the other night that was super good? You know what's really good, TLO? Wahlburgers. Okay.
What?
I haven't had Wahlburgers.
This shit is good. Okay.
I thought the only one was out at the mall and the mall's closed.
Nope. Maple Grove.
Maple Grove.
So I'm sure you could still like DoorDash or Uber Eats or delivery or something. You know what I mean?
That'd be one hell of a DoorDash though.
Not really though, because I can order from stuff all the way over in Bloomington and stuff.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like here with me, like
you know what I mean? But let me
if
tell
there's
you
a restaurant in Cleveland that I don't have here.
Yeah, they'll come from Cleveland. See, yeah. Yeah, your food might not be that warm, but like you can catch it up. Like
they have them insulated bags.
They do use them insulated bags, and they do try to just drive straight to your crib. So it's true. So Wahlburgers was really good. The other night was my mom's birthday. The last time we were all on, right? Yep. And then we had went to Wahlburgers, and I had this really amazing chicken sandwich. And it was a sweet and sour chicken sandwich. And they put
ooh, that sounds good.
Hold on. Crab rangoon on top.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Well, that sounds good.
with like
No,
jumbo lump crab meat, not just no bullshit you can't see like imitation flavor bullshit. This was jumbo lump crab meat.
Right. Right.
So
And so like one thing I had last week, Scarlett, which is a business I thought would have kind of shut down by now, is Five Guys.
No, Five Guys
Nope.
is solid, dude. Okay,
They're
what?
open.
How can you go wrong with burgers?
Right.
And
Especially
fries.
dude. It's not like the
I think they're a little overpriced though.
I mean, a little. Is it though? Because I mean, considering now, honestly, you go to like Wendy's, you go to McDonald's. If you get a combo, let's say you're not on like the value menu, that's
Yeah.
just like $10 anyway.
Yeah, but if you're looking for like a good burger,
Five
like
Guys. Five Guys burgers
it
and
would be
fries.
either Five Guys
Wahlburger.
smash burger or
Yeah, fuck a Wahlburger, dude. Fuck you guys. Wahlburgers. Them fucking burgers are good. They're a mixture of short rib, brisket,
yeah,
and then and ground chuck.
yeah.
It's
So
really good mix. Or even Culver's has really good burgers for just straight burger sake.
right, but so I ordered Five
do.
Guys and they
They
went
do.
all the way out to Belton Village. I mean, they do that all the time, but they had to go a little bit out of the way for this one, like in the North Canton.
Yeah, I like little dude likes their fries. So we could go there and eat fries. He won't eat but he will.
I was in
eat a bucket of
Alliance.
fries.
I was in Alliance last week.
And the reason why Five Guys is good is because they use peanut oil to fry their fries.
They do.
That's true.
So
That's
Scarlett,
like
I have a
Chick-fil-A
question.
though. Chick-fil-A uses
See,
oil.
like
I've
I
never been
can't
to a Chick-fil-A.
see-
I
I can't do Chick-fil-A.
love Chick-fil-A.
I can do like their chicken sandwiches and everything.
Them chicken
Like,
nuggets is fire too.
The chicken nuggets, but dude, every time I get chicken tenders from Chick-fil-A, I have issues with them.
Man, the Culver's chicken tenders are good. I don't mess with Chick-fil-A's. If I go to Chick-fil-A, I'll probably get them Chick-fil-A nuggets because they fry them with peanut oil. And then
Right, I'll either
dip
get
in sauce
them.
and it's pure, and you know what I mean? Like you ain't
Right.
messing around with no extra flavors, like nothing.
No, like, and you know, like with chicken nuggets, like I use ranch sometimes.
No, see, when you're at Chick-fil-A, there's too many sauces to use ranch, player.
Yeah, right. Like they have like 20 different fucking sauces.
They do, and you can use them. And that's the only sad part is like you can't like go in anymore and enjoy all your free sauces. So,
Oh no, our Chick-fil-A's, one of our Chick-fil-A's is a drive-through. Motherfucker.
well, yeah, but I mean, like as
Oh,
far as
don't put it
going
in the
in and
plastic cup
grabbing
for
that
you.
shit. I'm
Don't
sure
put it in
they'll
the
hook
plastic
you
cup
up
for
if
you.
you ask for it, but I don't feel like asking for 5,000 things. It's easier to just,
Bro, so Scarlett, there's one topic we've been saving for you.
Which is
Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un.
Un.
Yeah, however you pronounce his fucking name.
He's Un.
He's
Un.
Kim Jong-un. And then like, okay, so let's talk about this for a second, because that's like the breaking news of tonight, right? Of which he would die on my kid's birthday, dude. I swear. It would be like
He died?
They think he did. They think he's brain dead. Now let me tell you what happened. I'm gonna tell you how this disseminated earlier. Okay, so check it out. Okay. So just check it out, okay?
We're listening.
So earlier there was they were on I was watching Agenda Free TV, right? With Steve Lookner, right? Good peoples, okay? If you go over there, tell them Freedom Revolution sent you. I was watching his program, and he usually does the coronavirus updates, right? So I was watching for that. And all of a sudden, like, I got breaking news on Smart News that Kim Jong-un brain dead. So I was like, right? So I clicked on it, and it was like AP says, he's brain dead after complications with the surgery, right? Okay, so then I'm watching Agenda Free TV. Well, Steve, because he always, screen shares the tweets that he sees during, breaking news broadcasts, right? Much like we do here.
Right.
He showed a tweet from a lady named like Kelly Turp or Kelly Tur, something like that. Okay.
Heard of her.
Something around that line from NBC News, who said that 2 U.S. officials had told her that Kim Jong-un was dead.
Oh, how the fuck does the U.S. know about it?
Okay, well, so this brings up a whole bunch of questions, you know what I mean? Besides spies, Chili, right? But here's the deal. So then, like, it maybe was like 20, 30 minutes later, something like that. She comes out and she was like, well, just basically deletes it, says nothing. And Steve Lookner was like, well, what the hell? Because why would you post something like that as a news person, being so sure of yourself to even quote it and then say AP is also coordinating and CNN was coordinating on the story, to then change it? Okay. Now, if this was a strategic attack by us on him, you know what I mean? Then I could see them trying to change the narrative quickly. Or even if he just died in this surgery period, because you got to think about this. That leaves a country with developing nuclear weapons, potential nuclear weapons, in the largest biological weapon stockpile on Earth without a goddamn leader.
Right.
We had talked about
and that's
that.
what.
Hold on. What would you say, Tilo?
I said we had talked about that a little bit.
Right. But there's something to that, though. There's something about what's happening right now, and this is the biggest news that could happen, because I mean, if you think about it, if he died, and he's not in the best health, and there was a report from OANN News, you can find them on YouTube, okay, that he was dead, and that it was because it was a doctor who was flown in from a different country, and that doctor potentially had COVID.
See, so here's my opinion. So here's my thing on this, okay? The president or dictator or whatever the fuck you call him of North Korea is possibly dead.
Right, most likely dead. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, he's almost died a few times. Okay.
You know, so many nuclear warheads are left out there. And then the fact that you fly another fucking doctor from another fucking country to do.
Well, they don't have good care there, so of course he's gonna fly in people for himself.
Yep.
I mean, they don't have care.
I just feel bad for that country that gets blamed.
Well, if that's the case, but I don't know. So like I said, we're not going to necessarily know the story maybe ever. Okay.
Right.
But what we do know.
Warheads start flying.
Right. So now Kim Yo Jong, okay, would then be the next. Yeah, she'd be the one in line.
So here's my thing.
Because that's his sister.
Correct.
Is this crazy bitch gonna know what the fuck she's doing?
Yeah, because she's been okay. Now check it out. She was there during all the North Korea and U.S. talks, and with South Korea talks. And so she has been like, she's a top party leader, okay? And she's been kind of moved around from positions in the past, right? So, I mean, but she's on a list for severe human rights abuses by U.S. officials. So I don't know, but we don't know much about her. But she knows all about him.
Right, and then the one thing that I saw on top of this, Scarlett.
Because
Okay.
we never really heard about her too much.
So,
But like they
Yeah.
said, in 2010, so about 10 years ago,
right.
they introduced her to the public, right?
Yep.
And so
Mhm.
nobody knows what happened between her like graduating in Pyongyang and in 2007 and then when she came into the party. So no one knows. But they said she supposedly arranged her brother's secession after Kim Jong-il suffered 2 strokes, but was not mentioned by North Korean state media until 2014. So you get what I'm saying?
Okay,
like she
let's
may
break this
be
down for a minute, right?
the real deal. Like she might be the one running the country anyway. Because check it, they said she has demonstrated skills at modernizing the brand of the regime and has some sway over state propaganda. Her most important function is probably as confidant to her brother. So she knows all. She knows all. So this is a really big goddamn deal.
So let's break this down here, okay? Kim Jong-un dies.
Mm-hmm.
His sister comes in.
Right.
How many times in the past 4 years have we been on the brink of nuclear war with North Korea since Trump has been
And
president?
she might do it because look, check it. Here's an article from, it's about a month old, from March 3rd. She said, had condemned South Korea as a frightened dog barking after Seoul protested against a live fire military exercise by the North. Kim Jo-jong's comments, her first known official statement. Now think about that in line with what's happening right now. This was 1 month ago, and it's the first time this woman has spoken anything. First known official statement. Because she just brought out an ashtray during like the Philippine summit. Right?
Right.
So for her to not have said anything, she also said that the North was entitled to carry out military drills and dismissed the South's condemnation as a truly senseless act. Such incoherent assertion and actions only magnify our distrust, hatred, and scorn for the South side as a whole.
So that means the U.S. is also as a whole.
Yep, you know it. So if she's saying, and this is the first time she spoke, so I think that's a really, 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 really big deal. Because those drills last month were one day, days after the 1 year anniversary between the Hanoi summit between Trump and Kim Jong-un.
Right. So see, that's what I was just getting ready to bring up. Trump has been the only president ever in presidential history to step foot on North Korean soil.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
I mean, that's a big ass deal. People forget that. Like, if nothing else, he needs to be remembered for having relations with a country that supposedly nobody ever could.
Right. And here's my point to this. And I'm gonna get a little derogatory with his sister here for a minute because this is where I'm gonna get defensive here for a minute, okay? We have just built relations with North Korea. We have calmed down the point of a nuclear war.
No, but she's the one who's been running behind the scenes the whole time. You got to forget. You look at this, Dwayne.
Well,
it wasn't as blatant until right this moment. But if you go back and look, and you see that she's been the one at the side of him for the last year, they've probably known he hasn't felt good.
That's where I was going. This psychotic psycho bitch has been in the background for about a year.
No, she's been there since 2008. If you just heard the whole thing I just read.
2008. So she's been there for 12 years behind her brother.
Yes. And they said that she probably was the one who negotiated him to be in power in the first place, which means she has all the power. Behind every man, there is a woman holding the shit down. This happens to be his. And she's running the show. I'm telling you.
Lady, look at it. President Trump, lady. President Obama, Michelle Obama, Bush, his wife, Clinton, Hillary.
Like
it just keeps running down the line. But my point is, is this girl is going to come in and ruin relations we just had with North Korea, and yet again, like I've been saying for the past 40 minutes,
there's nothing to ruin because she created the policy to begin with, Dwayne. If you understand what her position is in the North Korean government, there's nothing to ruin because she created the policy to begin with.
Well, she's going to tear up the policy, basically.
Well, what it sounds like, okay, let's say that her attitude from last month maintains, right?
Right.
She's got an aggressive attitude to people she does not consider an ally.
And with Trump running
that
for
becomes
president,
a danger, yeah. And Trump just stopped all immigration.
Right. So here's my point.
All immigration.
Right. So here's my point.
No, really think about this, Dwayne. I don't think you realize how big that is. All immigration has been halted.
No,
Now, hold on. Let me, Dwayne, you're not getting it. You're trying to cut me off, and you're not. You got to slow down for a second. All immigration.
Okay.
Now, Kim Jong-un.
Dead.
Okay. Could that be a signal for potential war?
See, me and Tila were talking about this earlier. Okay. I don't know if you were on your computer to listen for a minute. Nope. Me and Tila were talking about this earlier with the whole China situation, right?
Nope, I wasn't listening.
Because, so remember how I told you the other night that Trump called China out and said, "This is an accident."
I already knew that, though. I already knew that because he did that in the press conferences during the day. So yeah, I already knew that.
Right. So what if Trump goes to war with China? What is North Korea going to do? They're going to back China. What is Russia going to do?
Not necessarily, no, because here, I'll tell you two reasons why they don't back China.
Okay.
Number one, China isn't their necessarily biggest backer. China is somebody that they work with, deal with, and trade borders, and China knows they have no choice but to deal with them. Correct. I don't think they would jump on China's side. What I think they would do is leverage the situation and get as much as they could out of China.
Correct.
Right.
Like, because I know how they do business. They're not necessarily friendly with China. They tolerate China because if their army would be big enough to go hit up China.
Right, but look at it from my point, right? So if they're trade partners, they're going to want to protect China.
No, because they share a border. So the border, they could lock down the border and stop trade and hurt China real bad.
Yes.
Yep.
China makes a lot of money off of the workers from North Korea.
Damn right.
Right. Okay, let's go with a rhetorical scenario then, okay?
Like, I mean, they could help China, but that would be a really provocative move for them. They usually stay highly independent, so I cannot see them getting down with the Chinese Communist Party. I mean, they have their own Communist Party, but I just can't see them going into partnership.
Well, let's look at it like this. When China started firing off missiles into the sea, what did North Korea start doing?
Okay, no, it was only North Korea popping off the missiles, though.
Well, a couple years ago, a buddy of mine said that China was caught popping off shit into the ocean as well.
I don't know about that.
So, rhetorical. If Trump goes to war with China, China is going to set off a nuclear warhead. What the fuck is North Korea going to do? They're going to fucking fire one at us because now they're going to see we're going to be vulnerable because China's already shot one off. Right?
Okay. Yeah, I don't see no.
Then it might have been false.
Okay, here's one. No, hold on. I need to look it up because I just don't remember. Okay, 2019, one missile.
See? So that's my thing. North Korea started doing it, and then China.
But North Korea has been doing it, and China's been going to try to militarize all these little islands around the world, and so that's not necessarily like,
I'm just throwing it out there as an option, okay?
Right.
And then if North Korea fires one off at us, what the fuck is Russia gonna do? Russia's gonna do the same fucking thing because we don't get along with Russia. We never really.
I don't know if Russia would come to Captain Save-A-Ho of China and North Korea, because I mean they would have it under control militarily between the two if that was the case. Yes,
Russia
they
would
do
wait it
share a
out.
border, but
I
Russia
think
would
Russia
wait
would
it
play
out and
neutral.
see who won.
yeah, I mean Russia would, but you know Russia would sit back until they decided who to get down with.
Correct. They did it in World War II.
Hell, they just did it with Syria and shit.
Yeah, they just signed it with Syria, but I'm just looking at it because of the fact that what Trump said on Sunday. So I'm kind of sitting here brainstorming a little bit, Scarlett, because that's kind of what you taught me to do and look at different possible scenarios, right?
Right.
So this is what I'm doing in my head. What about the tanks being built in Mexico for who? So actually, this is a cool thing. Trump actually made peace with Mexico. I just learned this. I just figured this out on Sunday when me and Mom were talking about this. And Scarlett can even tell you, my mom had to sit down at about a 3.5-hour fucking conversation without me being present. On air. So my mom came to me on Sunday and was telling me about the press conference, right?
Right.
Because my mom was asking questions. Well, I found out that Trump has made peace and made an ally with Mexico. Okay. So, if that being said, with that being made at peace with two states, with two different countries, okay, Mexico and the U.S., dude, that is two really close allies that are at fucking state borders.
I mean, yeah, but Mexico knows better. We have too many trade agreements. Mexico knows better. Mexico might need tanks for their own cartel right now because they're falling apart.
Well, no, I'm saying that, like, if the U.S. was to go to war with somebody and we were invaded, we just made an ally with Mexico, and it's not going to take Mexico that long to fucking respond.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just sitting here brainstorming shit out the top of my fucking head, and it's
no. I mean, it's something to think about for sure. But like I said, I don't know. This brings, especially with COVID, it makes everything a lot more complicated.
Correct.
For what actions would actually be taken and who actually, because would it ever be like a physical altercation, or would it just be all cyber digital, quiet weapon, silent weapons for quiet wars, type deal.
Right. So Scarlett and then me and Tila were talking about this too, is that Trump's safe his bet if China does come out. Scarlett, we've been talking about it. We started talking about China being fucking highly involved in it. This is where it fucking came from 2 weeks into this shit.
Well, yeah. Also, I'm highly concerned for the French people.
Yeah, I am concerned about France. So, yeah, kind of, yeah.
Things are popping off, though, because, see, this is why I don't like all this potential, instability at once. The French have been rioting for 2 nights now with the police, and I mean clashing hard. And so it's pretty bad.
Are they going to have to call in for another country's or another state's aid?
Or the UN or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, because the U.S. is also allies with France. So, yes. You got to think, if we see, this is exactly what.
And they are under lockdown still, but they have been under a state of emergency for 5 years. People are tired of this shit in France, and of which, don't even blame them.
You
Gilets jaunes have been going on now for like 80 weeks, 2 years of just those situations. So It's just absolutely awful right now with what we're dealing with. Absolutely awful. It's going to be pretty bad.
So Gail just said infiltration of states and government on all levels. ISIS using weak border / Mexico. Jacko tells Russia from Canada, Chinese also.
Yeah, now nobody's really getting through, but until a few weeks ago, there were people pouring. And I would be interested to go be sitting by the border to see if anybody's getting through. Because that would also be interesting.
And see, that's what I was just getting ready to say, is because this is the simple fact of the fact that we're possibly on the brink of World War III.
Potentially.
So, okay.
Because I mean, and we're on a global economic meltdown. You know, think about all the economies around the globe, right? Who literally depend on travel to like that fund their country. Like without travel, their country is nothing. And so people should be highly concerned by that. Little countries like, you know, Antigua and Barbuda and Jamaica and, you know, all of these places that rely heavily on world tourism now are shuttered. How long can, and they're used to these resorts pumping money into the economy and pumping money into the community. And now that's not going to be happening.
Right. See, and we're watching an economic financial breakdown.
We're watching a financial economic holocaust.
Pretty much. You know, and here's my thing. Okay. And that, you know, with this whole financial situation, you know, the U.S. is kind of like saying, hey, we're not struggling financially. Like our economy's not crashing. But yet again, we're watching all these other countries just crash under like a snap of a fucking finger. And my question is how is the U.S. making it like we are when all these other countries are just boom? You see what I'm saying, Scarlett?
No.
Like, how are we thriving like we are, like, economically, but all these other countries are just becoming much better?
Well, for now, they're going to live through reserves. But that's not going to last forever. And that's when the oil hit $- today.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Ain't it? $37 it hit.
Right.
They're basically paying people to store oil at this point.
Right. Speaking of financials, if you guys love what we do here on Freedom Revolution Network, please go to freedomrevolutionnetwork.com, hit that donate button, and if you donate $50 or more, you get a t-shirt. I think I saw Tim posted something about his t-shirts the other day, actually.
Yeah, we've got quite
which
a
was
few
weird.
T-shirts.
You know, but you guys get a free FRN. You know, you guys get a free Freedom Revolution Network t-shirt, and there is a coronavirus dollar bomb, and the person that explains it better than I do, Scarlett.
If you'd like to donate to our coronavirus dollar bomb to help us stay alive and keep you guys informed on the happenings that are going on, think about donating to our coronavirus dollar bomb to help us keep the lights on. If we get enough money, we're going to try to help other people in our area as well. So just think about us. We'd like to also do some daily check-ins if people would like to do that. You could definitely check in the mornings on the original Red Pill show. And many new shows are coming in the next couple weeks. So you guys just get ready, stay tuned, and help us keep the revolution going.
as one that I'm looking forward to is Survivalist Martini.
Yeah, we're getting
Did I say
that.
that right?
Yeah, we're starting to get the audio and figuring out how we can multiple pipe it through and help other people. So that's what we've been working on, is how do we share it and then other people can see it when it's their turn.
Right. Night, TLO. Thank you. Thank you for joining, but if you're leaving, it's always a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Have a good day.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Al. And see you next time.
Yes, sir.
You know, it makes you really just feel concerned for our future.
It
Something that's
really
on
does.
a little bit of a lighter note, though. I thought you would like this story. So, are you ready?
Yep.
Indonesia punishes quarantine violators by sending them to haunted house. I thought you would like that. Indonesian officials in central Java province have gotten creative with their punishments for quarantine violators, forcing them to stay in a haunted house. Coconuts Jakarta reported Monday. In recent weeks, many natives from Sragen Regency in central Java have returned to their villages from large towns and cities to try and escape lockdown. There's also a number of people under surveillance over suspicions that they're carrying the Chinese coronavirus and can infect others. The two groups have been consequently warned to stay home by authorities for at least 14 days. Rather than threaten them with jails or fines, the region of Sragen, Kudanasar Untung Yunis Sukatwati, pledged to send violators to abandoned or haunted houses. If they disobey self-isolation orders, several villages have asked for my permission to quarantine them in an abandoned elementary school or abandoned houses. I gave my permission. If need be, they should be locked inside in a haunted house if necessary, but we'll still feed them and monitor them. Two residents of Plumplu village have already discovered that Kudistanar was not joking. Two Puplu residents have agreed to self-isolate, but they violated the order. So they were locked in an abandoned haunted house. Had they obeyed their order, they wouldn't have been locked in there. He did not specify how long the two men's stay would last. One of the reasons why Kudistanar opted for abandoned buildings is the region has no quarantine facilities, meaning it's one of the few places carriers of the disease can be isolated from the wider public. Indonesia now appears to be over the worst of the pandemic after it reported a sharp drop in new cases and an increase in the number of patients recovering from the virus compared to those who had died. The country so far has recorded 6,700 cases and 590 deaths, a relatively low figure given its size of 200 million population. Although President Joko Widodo has imposed some social distancing measures, Indonesia is one of the few countries that has not instigated a nationwide lockdown, where millions of people are still traveling to work. However, this weekend he did instruct the police and military to punish both persons under surveillance and patients under observation who broke their quarantine orders. The president has instructed medical workers assisted by the Indonesian military and national police to take measures against people in the ODP and PDP categories who ignore the restrictions, said Doni Monardo, head of the National Coronavirus Task Force on Monday. We've received recommendations to install CCTVs at factories and also to do more inspections at offices. The task force calls on all business leaders, high-ranking officials, and human
all the statistics on the back.
World's longest haunted house. Right. Yeah.
Yep.
See?
So the fact that they're putting people in a haunted house, we need to do that, dude. Because if we put all the actors in the fucking haunted house and we just start quarantining people in it, dude, we'll have so much fun.
It's like,
dude, like,
yeah, it's great.
Oh my god, they're quarantining people in a haunted house. Ah! You gotta give me a minute to recoup.
I know, that was funny. I thought that was funny. And you know, it's a good use of buildings. So if they don't, like they said, if they don't have anywhere else to put them, where are they supposed to put these people?
Right, dude, like the factory terror, and I've seen this, is like they're letting employees go stay in the haunt.
I could see that as little barracks and a space to stay.
You know, they're letting them go stay in the haunt.
Because you could go probably stay where like everybody like gets ready and stuff during that time. You know, that type of stuff.
Or you can actually go sleep inside the house.
I guess I wouldn't.
Oh, I would. Hell yeah.
Nope.
If I got to sleep in my house, I know my house forward and backwards.
Nope. A whole lot of nope.
Okay, I got a story for you guys to lighten the mood up, okay, for a minute before we get serious. My first season at the Factory Terror Haunted House in Canton, Ohio, it was like my third or fourth week, right? We were 3 weeks in. And I had this group of 10, and I'm not being racist when I say this, but the most easiest group of people to scare is a bunch of black people. And they happened to be all males. And they were acting hard when they were going through the queue line. Well, they got towards the end of the house in the courtyard. I'm standing back by the cubby hole where we actually will put you in the cubby hole and make you crawl through it if you'll fit. And I came running out at them. I dropped 10 of them because I hit the middle of them. And they dropped, and all 10 males pissed their pants.
Wow.
And we're sitting there picking on them, like, why do you piss your pants, bitch? Come on, Scarlett.
Mm-mm.
If you go through the haunted house, I'll let you pick anywhere for dinner, and I'll pay for it.
Nope.
Damn.
I don't do that.
Dude, this haunted house is so fun. We own 2 of them. But no, yes, Scarlett, the Factory of Terror is the world's longest haunted house. We are a 3-time Guinness World Record. Our haunt actually goes 1.5 miles.
That's pretty cool.
And we're adding another house.
That's awesome.
So we're about to be about 2 miles, 2.5 miles long, depending on how big this house is that they're building.
Whoa, what the hell? Billionaire's compound with own testing center.
What the fuck?
Stoked anger on French Riviera.
Oh my God. See, I'm so pissed off at billionaires right now.
They have a lot of ultra wealthy people. You know what I heard though, which I thought was really funny and ironic. And you know, we told everybody here on the Freedom Revolution Network when to leave and when to enact your plans and realize, like, if you're not somewhere where you need to be now, that was going to kind of be it for a while for as far as being in your, you know, traveling space, you know?
Right.
Well, because like now you can't go to Canada, you can't go to Mexico, and a lot of people were planning on running to those places if something ever happened, right? Well, now the ultra wealthy, I guess a lot of them did not leave before all of this and got stuck where they are. So a lot of people didn't make it to their little doomsday bunkers.
See, and the reason I'm pissed off at billionaires, they're getting $1.2 million stimulus checks.
Like, they didn't get stimulus checks.
Yes, they did. Yes.
Maybe for their business, but not personal stimulus checks.
I don't know, but I know they got stimulus checks over for $1.2 million fucking dollars.
Like, so these people, you know, I don't know. So they basically got, they had one person and all they were doing was supposedly a clinical trial at this place. But it's like you're running a clinical trial in a private bunker.
Right. Dude, and I've seen so many bunker videos on Facebook this week.
Yeah, and I mean that's because a lot of people had those luxury bunkers, and
one dude has running water, electricity, gas, and I'm going.
I've seen ones with bowling alleys, movie
swimming
theaters.
Pools. Like, and I'm sitting there going, like, what the fuck? Like, it just pisses me off. You know, but like the thing is like, why?
Right.
Why do you need all that in a bunker? I was talking to a buddy of mine who made a bunker. He has electricity, running water, and gas in his. And I got to go see it last week. It's here in Ohio. It's not on Facebook or anything. He's not advertising it like that. But dude, he has internet and everything down there. I'm going like, why? He's going like, in case I get bored.
Right.
And then one thing that I heard this week too is that, dude, a lot of kids are getting arrested.
Yeah, because they don't want to sit their behinds at home.
Well, no, because they're talking about shooting places up and everything because no one's inside. Like what? Like, what are these parents teaching their kids during quarantine?
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of kids are acting like this is just extended summer break.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either because they're acting a fool, really, when it comes down to it.
Like I have been at my mom's for 5 days. I have kept my ass in the house. I have only left a couple of times, which is to go down to Emirates to get like milk, some stuff to snack on.
Which is like the first time since COVID. Dwayne.
Okay, I've been quarantining for the past couple of weeks. Leave me alone.
Just let you know.
Hey, by the way, are you gonna fix my name? The title name?
What do you mean?
For my show on YouTube?
No, I can't do that anymore.
Why?
Because I guess it messes up the programming. I got yelled at.
By Mel?
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, Mel.
Well, no, it's the way the programming works. So people can go to freedomrevolutionnetwork.com/show schedule during live shows to figure out which show would be on, which you're watching the Night Talk.
With Dwayne Lanham.
Exactly. So, yeah, otherwise, I guess the next show, it like changes the title for that show too, and you can't necessarily change it back, and it's kind of messed up.
Here's my thing with everybody's starting to really learn how to use technology.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I got bombed today in my AA meeting.
Really?
On Zoom, I got bombed. I got bombed bad. My eyes will forever be scarred. Dude, it's like just people are being like dumb fucks. Like, why can't you be like me and Scarlett and just relax? Guys, also, if you want to call in, Scarlett, do you have the Freedom Revolution Network page pulled up?
No.
If you guys want to call in to the show, the phone number will be posted in the bottom. I sent Pam some rules. I totally forgot to say what they were. Oops. Hey, yeah. Let's talk about that for a minute. So Dwayne normally does not have rules on the Night Talk until an incident occurred in Scarlet Talk.
On Scarlet Talk? Is that what you just said?
Well, we mean you talk. That means no more. Me and Scarlett try to be out on a reasonable time. Some days. Like, I don't know how long tonight's going to be because it's getting dead. It's
I mean, really, but you know what? That's a good thing, Dwayne, that's been getting dead because there has been so much news in the past 3 months, if you really, really think about it.
Yeah, there has.
That we've been wanting to do like a more upbeat show too.
Right, and we can kind of do that today too. I mean, like, that's not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, so, and I'm going to tell you this because Scarlett ruined my Easter while I'm posting the number in here. Okay. Me and Scarlett me and Scarlett get into little debates on the phone. Because I've known Scarlett for what, Scarlett? Coming on 4 years, but I've only been talking to you over on the phone for about 7 or 8
months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I told Scarlett, I said something stupid. I don't remember what she said. Oh, she tried to cancel Easter Bunny on our kids. I went like, you bitch. And she went like, well, you know what? Fuck you. You just fucked up. I'm ruining your Easter. Do you know what happened all day long? I sat in my room alone all day on Easter.
I'll wake up alone.
By myself. Literally by myself. Like, fuck you, Scarlett. Damn it. Dude, like, some of the conversations we've been having, though, has been interesting. Like, we can just actually sit back and talk without having to fucking do things. But, oh, shit, let me explain the rules. I'm so getting off track.
Well, I feel like that was good, though. I mean, you know.
Right. But, guys, and there's,
oh, somebody's here.
Someone's here. Oh. Welcome to the Night Talk. Oh, Scarlett, can you unmute them, or do I have to? I have to.
Maybe you can. If not, I can. Oh, you can.
Welcome to the Night Talk. This is Dwayne. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, I'm Gail Firestone.
Hey, Gail.
Hey, Gail.
Hi.
How are you?
Gail Firestone?
No, she's asking how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You know, so we can barely hear you, Scarlett.
I just wanted to say thank you to you guys for being up and talking about some real stuff, and I just appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Gail. That means so much that we're, you know, able to get, you know, messages out like this, because everybody deserves to know what's actually going on in the world and not the bullshit that the government feeds us.
Right.
But, you know, and that's like why me and Scarlett are trying to kind of get this show to start relaxing a little bit more, too, is because for the past 3 months, me and Scarlett has covered a lot of shit.
Gotcha.
Like, Scarlett, what? We've covered tornadoes. We've covered coronavirus. I think that's all we've covered. Right.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I mean, it's like so overwhelming. It's like a big puzzle, and you can't find the main pieces to put it all together.
Right, and you never can. You know, it's like we're trying to fit these pieces of puzzle together, but thank God that, you know, the people that, you know, we have here in FRN, we're all kind of like-minded people, so we're kind of able to brainstorm together and get, you know, opinions. Like, it seems like me, Mel, Tim, Scarlett, Ron are kind of all on the same page at this point.
Right. I watch Ron all the time, almost every night that I can.
You know, and Scarlett, when have we ever seen us all on one page on one accord?
I mean, it's, you know, we all have similar mindsets, so I think.
You know, but, you know, like, you know, tomorrow night and Wednesday night, I'm going to try to lay back on the show a little bit more. Like, try to lay back and do something. You know, like, right? Because it's the fact is, like, we need to take a break from the real life for a minute and just step back into what we know for a minute, like deep within ourselves, and get back in touch with that.
I definitely think this time is a period of reflection.
Yes, I agree.
Like, we got to try to find ourselves, you know, get back to who we are normally, not with outside in the community, but who we are as ourselves.
Right. See, I used to be an artist and I used to play guitar, and I was so busy with work for the last few years that I put all that to the side. And now I'm like trying to keep up with all the news and everything, and I'm thinking to myself, you have guitars sitting here, you have art supplies sitting here. Why aren't you doing something with that?
Right, like ask Scarlett. I used to play every night on my show.
You did.
You know, and then we got
Wow.
serious, and I'm going like, I don't got time for all this no more. Like I've buried myself deep in schoolwork. I've buried myself deep in this, and I love this. You know, I love the late nights. You know, I'm burying myself deep within ADRF. You know,
No, we got to find a balance.
you know, I'm the medical team leader, not team leader, medical assistant team leader for the disaster response team, are the current soon to be 501c3 that me and Scarlett are a part of. Speaking of that, if you guys want to participate and be a volunteer, message. Oh, what is his email? Gosh darn it.
American Disaster Relief Force at protonmail.com or yahoo.com.
If you guys want to volunteer, hit up that email. We are looking to place anybody anywhere. And speaking of ADRF, and I'm going to say this again, our team literally had a godsend about 2 weeks ago.
Amen.
And Scarlett knows what I'm talking about. We were looking for another person besides me, her, and Stone that can run every single team. Well,
Right.
out of the blue, in the middle of the night during a tornado disaster, fucking God Jesus, in the middle of a tornado disaster, this dude pops up out of nowhere. So me, Scarlett, and Stone get to start interviewing him. And dude, he can basically do freaking anything.
That's awesome.
And that was like the night of one of my shows. I think that was the night of not last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before that. When I did my show down here in the basement on Tuesday. Yeah, it was the Tuesday when I screwed up and did a Tuesday night instead of a Wednesday, but okay. You know, so if you guys want to, please go to American Disaster Relief Force at protonmail.com.
Can you post that?
Yeah, I can. Hold on. It's American Disaster Relief Force. Scarlett, is there any spaces between that or no?
Pardon, Dwayne?
Is there any spaces between American Disaster Relief and Force in that email, or is it all just combined to one word?
All one word.
Force at proton mail.com or American Disaster Relief Force at yahoo.com. And guys, if you have skills with dispatching or ham radio, we're really looking for ham radio. We're looking for ham radio operators the most, aren't we?
I guess.
I don't, but I might know a couple of people. And I went to college and I wanted to be in emergency management, and I took geology and all that. So my things are geology.
Gail, can you let Scarlett finish first, please?
Yes.
Scarlett, go ahead.
Yeah. What was I gonna say now? I forgot. But
I was asking you, what are we looking for the most in the team?
Who are actually looking for the most on teams? Yeah, we're looking for especially action team People that also help on like the EOC team. And then who else do we need? We need comms.
Radio operators.
Yeah, we need comms, but we don't. But there's a few new people who are doing weather who can do comms, so we might have comms filled.
Medical team.
So that's pretty exciting. Yeah, and we can train anybody to even be. And we need dispatchers. We need tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of dispatchers.
And I would explain the role of a dispatcher real quick. Dispatching is getting the calls out to med team, search and rescue, mainly between med team and search and rescue.
Gail, it sounds like your skill set sounds like it could be helpful if you're willing to help during hurricane or natural disasters.
And Scarlett,
I adapt really well.
Wonderful, because we could definitely use you. It's really easy to learn, and we teach everybody, and so we make it very fair for people to get in.
And we do, but it's also a lot of mental. What am I trying to say?
Fortitude.
During the end of the season, it can take a mental.
Yeah, you need endurance for sure.
It's going to take a mental toll on you. I know. 1 year, my third year working with Scarlett, I think it was it was when we had Florence and Michael back to back.
Oh right.
I had to skip out of
I'm very cold and factual, and I only let emotions take over after the fact.
Right.
Like if you have to step away because your mental health is deteriorating due to the fact that you're working, you're going to hear shit that not a lot of normal human beings here.
It's true.
Because we're all weird in our own types of way on this team, and we all get. And once you get to know us, we're like one big.
And everybody has different coping mechanisms too. To be fair, I think that's the basics. Everybody just has different ways that they deal with it. How they get.
I have always been the person that I look at the factual situation. And emotion or adrenaline doesn't kick in until after the event is took care of. I've always been that way. And then I just let it flow through me. I don't let it rest within me. And it's like, okay, I saw that, I did that, I heard that, And it's like, okay, take the good from it. Take the good that you can from it.
Right. And I'll say this, after Harvey, which is one of the most detrimental hurricanes that I've ever dealt with, because I was boots on ground for that one. That wasn't a mistake at all. That was actually the best thing I could have ever done, because it taught me, how to handle it. It really taught me how to sit back and handle the force of what I was going to procure through the next couple seasons that I would be doing this. Because of the fact that this is how I met Scarlett. I don't think, Scarlett, were you with USCF then, or?
I knew of Watchdog, but I was with other groups like Crowdsource and C-Tex Navy and stuff.
Yep, that's how I met her, and then we both somehow ended up on USCF by God knows what.
Through some way. But yeah, it was a crazy time.
And now, I can sit here and, after a hurricane has happened and we're now in the relief force and that gets done, the one person I call out of everybody is I do call Scarlett, and we just both will either sit there and cry together, which we've done 2 or 3 times, because take it, me and Scarlett had to tell somebody together that they were going to die.
Right.
Basically. So you don't go through this alone. You go through it together as a team, and a lot of the team members will reach out to you after that to make sure you're dealing mentally. I know I will, with being a part of Med Team. That's mine and Matt's focus is after a disaster is reaching out to everybody and going hey, are you guys okay mentally?
Well, I just hope that nobody ever says somebody expired like they told me when my dad passed away, because it was he expired a credit card? That was so cold. so cold.
Yeah, no, never that. No, but you know the local authorities put people in like us in a real tight situation when they should be the ones breaking this news to people. They push it on to us for it to be our concern. So you know it is hard. We've had to tell people to just hold on and pray, and the help isn't going to be coming, but do the best you can to get through it. But yeah, that's a really cold way to tell somebody that, yeah, oh, they expired. Can you at least
Yeah.
say hello, your loved one is, deceased at least, expired.
Right, like
Ridiculous.
when I was in
Acknowledge their existence as a human being.
right, like when I was in Harvey, I was working with Scarlett knows him. I was working with AJ at the time. Scarlett, you remember AJ, don't you?
Absolutely.
I was working with him, boots on ground, and once we were able to identify bodies, we had to start going knocking door to door.
Right. And you don't
You
tell
know,
them a bunch of crap. You
I,
you
you
go
know,
and it sucks, and you have to talk to these people, and you have to deal with their emotions.
and this is how I approached it. After they opened the door, they could tell something was wrong because you got two armed guys standing at your front door for one.
Right.
And I go like, ma'am, I am sorry that I have to tell you this, but your son or daughter or husband unfortunately didn't make it.
Right.
And and I see a lot of the mental breakdowns. I had one lady during Harvey when I told her that tried to kill herself. That wasn't interesting.
Right. And I mean, you never know how people are going to react. So you have to just be kind of their confidant in that moment. And, it is a big deal. And it is something that we do, try to, excuse me, handle delicately. But it is one of the realizations of these natural disasters that I think people just hear death tolls and numbers on the TV and don't
Right,
necessarily think about, the real human impact of that.
right. And like when the lady tried to commit suicide, me and AJ physically grabbed a hold of her.
Right.
Right.
Because and we sat there for 2.5, 3 hours going like, in a house with water, sat there on the second floor where there was no water because this girl, I had to tell her that unfortunately her 8-year-old daughter passed away.
Jeez.
So like you might have to do something like that if you're boots on ground. We
Right.
really don't recommend doing it if you're doing it over Zello because that's just not the way to do it.
Right.
Okay. Neither of the addresses that were posted I've gotten a thing in the mail back, and it's not giving me anything.
Did I spell it wrong?
Yes, you did.
God, Jesus. Scarlett's going to put the right ones in there. Give her a minute. God, I hate when I do that to myself. It's
It
all right.
happens. Don't worry about it.
I screwed up on the freaking name for a TikTok and had to go back in and fix it.
True.
It's all good. No worries. I got you.
So like, but no, like we're looking for volunteers, and and I'm gonna throw this out there, like we will joke around, like we will hit on each other hard after hurricane season. I think me, Scarlett, and a couple of the guys and girls from the old team we were with, Scarlett, we were just sitting there knocking at each other for 4 hours straight.
That's true. No, those look like the emails. I guess I'm gonna have to get it from Stone if they're bouncing back because that's what they are. So
Poor Wade and the chicken wing.
I know.
Because he didn't want to say cock ring. He was so embarrassed.
Chicken.
He was like, I have to use a chicken wing when I get it on him. Me and Scarlett went like, what?
Chicken wing? We were like, chicken wing? We were like, what's chicken wing? Like, what's that? But I mean, we have to find things to laugh about or make fun of or poke fun of each other. We haze each other a little bit because I think that that's the only way mentally you can get through a lot of these disasters, honestly. without losing your mind of yourself. Oh. Oh, right. There we go.
Disaster
Disaster
is
spelled.
spelled
Thank
wrong.
you, Bruce.
Hold on, I can do this. Let me.
I got it.
Oh, this is a quick copy and paste for me.
Got it.
But yeah, I want to tell you guys I appreciate what you do.
Thank you. We
Thank you
appreciate
so much, Gail. That means a lot. You know, and this is going to sound strange. I've made a lot of friendships and a lot of family, you know, through this. At one time, like, me and Scarlett just considered ourselves friends, but the way that we bonded over the phone, like, me and Scarlett are like family now. You know, like, I plan after this is all said and done going where she lives and going to see her.
That was our plan
Right.
anyway.
Yeah, that was our plan anyways. You know, but now since we're more closer going out and going bar hopping, man.
I know. It's a whole new world now since we made our plans, Dwayne.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I know. It's
Hey, I used to be a lead singer in a band. Come on, it's all changed.
You know, but the fact is too is that everything is gonna be, even when I go down and see Scarlett, everything's gonna be okay. I mean, we can sit there and do shit that. Hey, shit, we just planned like a couple nights ago when me and my fiance go down to go stay the night at TLO's house.
Right.
Go crash at TLO. Let them all like, hey, we're on our way. I got Scarlett. Wait, what? Surprise, motherfucker.
Right.
Pick
We
this ass
gotta,
up.
we are just a family here, though, and that's the atmosphere we want to have, though. We want to have people to feel comfortable telling their truth and putting out things that are important to them, talking about things that are important to them, and just shaping their own personal landscape for those around them to just kind of bring a platform to talk about things. I think that's important right now. There's not enough places to talk about things. There's a lot of places people are arguing, but
Right.
the people
Yeah.
talking.
Right. And like Scarlett, like I found a loophole around this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you remember how I said I wanted to do a movie night over Zoom?
Mm-hmm.
I can do a movie night over Zoom without going live.
Oh, wonderful. That's what I was saying. We could do like a private invite jam. You know what I mean?
Right, like I'll go live on Zoom real quick, post the code and everything, let you guys know it's movie night and pop off.
You're right.
I don't know what kind of movies you like, but my son got me the Hobbit trilogy for my birthday. So I have those.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I want to show a childhood favorite, and I think everybody's going to kick out of this one. Free Willy was my shit growing up.
Oh, Free Willy.
Dude, the saddest one, dude, the one that was sad was Free Willy 3 to the Rescue.
I didn't see that.
Dude, I'm not watching the new one either, because that just sounds stupid.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I only saw the maybe 1, maybe 2.
I used to own 1, 2, and 3.
Wow.
Scarlett, they have one on Netflix.
Do they?
And another one that's actually funny, would make people laugh, is Tremors.
Oh my
Yeah.
I love Tremors.
Like once a week, guys, I'm gonna post like in the chat while I'm live. What movie do you want to see next week? Give me a vote, and me and Scarlett will try to collect said votes.
Oh, cool.
And figure out which one wins.
That would be awesome.
Like Scarlett, do you think we could even create a poll on the FRN Facebook group?
Yeah, we could do that, or I'm sure Mel could even create a poll on the website. I'm sure she could do that too.
Like let us know what movie you want to what movie you would want to see on Friday, on not a Friday night, but on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday night.
Yeah, we'll do it like weeknight, movie night, and just kind of
grab your snacks, grab your beer, come watch a movie.
Yeah, popcorn too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's well. When I said snacks, that included popcorn.
True. Good
You
point.
know?
I mean,
I got
but you got to think popcorn though, because if you think snacks, you might think like, oh, nachos or you know.
Yeah, good point. You know, and once a month with the movie night, I'm gonna try to do a horror night for all you horror fanatics.
oh nice.
And because Scarlett, I gave Scarlett my Netflix password and everything, and I decided to go creep on the profile. Fucking Carol Baskin.
Right? Tiger King.
Dude, I started watching that shit. Fuck that.
It's so bad, it's good.
It's so horrible that
It's so bad, it's good.
right.
What is
It's
it?
so horrible that
Tiger King on Netflix.
it's getting good reviews. Dude, there's already fucking songs on YouTube about Carol Baskin.
Yes, it's so great. Oh my god, yeah.
Like, hold on, let's see if I can find one on
A
YouTube because I get away with this.
friend of mine dressed up as Joe Exotic and put like streamers underneath her hat and then had like a big Lion King from back in the day and was like
Right.
Tiger
Like
King.
here, I'll give you guys this song, right? As long as I don't show the video, I won't get hit for copyright. So here's this. When it's not copyrighted or anything, it's just uploaded on YouTube.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people have been basically bonding over this Joe Exotic thing. It's been interesting. Joe Exotic's in jail. President Trump's been talking about pardoning Joe Exotic. You know, it's been an enigma for sure.
Dude, like when I typed in Carol Baskin songs, you want to know how many came up?
How many?
I got a search for 30.
That's a lot of Carol, but I'm surprised there isn't more due to quarantine. And she started making videos too.
Fuck her.
Yeah, like during quarantine, like they've always done videos, but they like did videos like in response to Tiger King. So she's all like, "Hey, all you."
Okay, I'm wrong. 14. It was wrong.
It's out of control.
Dude, but like, here's the thing, like that bitch killed her fucking husband with a tiger.
I've only seen a couple of things in the Tiger King. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying though. That's why I'm like, no. I started. I gotta keep watching, but I watched. I got like 4 episodes in. I like binged hard, and then I just haven't had time to go back to it because my kids always have my TV. But
Yeah,
that being
our
said,
president mentioned it.
I know, right?
Right?
He's trying to pardon Joe Exotic. So I mean, even President Trump is bored, sitting at home watching Tiger King.
Oh my gosh!
Like, here's the thing, like,
Right? Just think about that. President Trump sitting at home, you know, at the White House, and just being like, "So, what are we gonna watch tonight?" And you know, him and Melania are like Tiger King, you know, like.
Man, dude, there's one show that I recommend. There's one show I recommend on Netflix. It's so inappropriate, but it's so fucking funny. You gotta watch the full first episode. If you're gonna like it, if you like it, you will laugh at the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I already have. Sorry.
It's called Big Mouth on Netflix.
It's called what?
Big Mouth.
Oh, Big Mouth. Yeah.
And then Scarlett, I have a story for you. I seen this on Facebook the other day, right? And this is pretty long, but I'm going to read it because you guys are going to get a kick out of this. Mind you, this is a no bars hold group. So just
Yeah, I got like a 15-second delay on watching the video.
it's gonna go. It's gonna get from. It's gonna go PG. I'm gonna warn you now. It's what we say in the original Pill Show when there's like me, Mel, Scarlett, Bonnie, and everybody on there. It goes from PG-13 to rated X real quick. This is gonna go rated X within 2 minutes. Just
Dude, I've seen videos. I've seen videos that nobody should see. Okay, so
all right.
no worries.
So bear with me. Shadow went partner because this is the story of how I went to the ER to retrieve my lost butt plug out of my ass. It's long, but we both know you got time. First thing, though, feels special. I've only ever told this story as a novelty to some close friends, selected family members who are no longer surprised by my shenanigans, and the very few people who happen to put me in a conversation where this story was relatable. Looking at you, Barbara and Marie Arquette, he throws somebody out under the fucking bus. Anyway, enough foreplay. That's how I got into this mess. So I just moved out of my parents' house and with some roommates. I had a different Tinder dude every other day or more, whoring it up with my newfound freedom. Like Genghis Khan was my idol. So here comes my offender. Let's call him Beardy Beardy. Beardy Beardy had, as you might have guessed, a great beard. He was also a Boy Scout. A Boy Scout knows his knots, and my kinky ass was done already. Beardy comes over and we start going at it. A little rope, a little woohoo. I'm feeling myself. I decide in a fit of spontaneous experience to pull my $1 butt plug that I got on Wish. See, that's where he fucked up. He bought a butt plug on Wish. You know the one, it's got a rhinestones, seeing small and innocent enough, wrong. We put it in, all smooth sailing so far. I feel kinky as shit. No one could possibly master my level of seduction. Then Beardy starts to mess with it. Wiggling around, tugging on it, being fucking weird. So I say, hey, I think it's fine where it is. Let's leave it and keep going. But no, Beardy continues. And in the only appropriate fashion for the bad sitcom that is my life goes, it's okay, I know what. And then he gasped. He looks a little concerned. He looks at me. He looks at my dookie hole. He looks back at me again. What's wrong? I asked him. I'm thinking, is my starfish ugly? I knew I should have patient dang it. He goes, it's gone. It's gone? What the fuck do you mean it's gone? The bedazzled rocket didn't just launch into space, motherfucker. I told you not to mess with it. I'm so upset. He's telling me to calm down as if telling a woman to calm down has ever ended better than him being hit with a motherfucking car. Relax, he says. I lost much bigger things in my ass. Bruh. I make this fool take me to the hospital. I live literally a block away, so he drops me off and his ass goes home to be blocked, never getting to speak to me again. I walk into the ER. Luckily, there's only a few people in the waiting room, so other than the butt plug feeling like an ever omnious dookie waiting to groundhog, I feel a tiny bit better about the situation. I go up to the check-in window and the nurse asks, What am I being seen for? Can I write it down? I whisper, obviously, if I whisper, a guy can't hear me. He gives me a look, but luckily puts me straight in the triage so I can bear my sins. The nurse goes back there, goes straight to the point. What are you being seen for? Oh, yes, the question clouds my brain is like the fart is trapped in my lower digestive system. I lost something in my butt. At this point, I made a decision. I could either die of embarrassment right here in the hospital and be the butt of many jokes to come, get it, or I can own it. Make it my own joke to tell, and went with the latter. I lost a butt plug in my ass and told him the story thus far. He rubbed the back of his head and was like, let's just get you to a room. So I get him again, get to a room, and like I said, this is long. And after a bit, another nurse comes in. She's smoking hot. She puts her hands on her hips and goes, so I heard you lost something. Damn it. I already know this story is going around the nurse station word for word already, and my dumbass is rapidly developing a crush on this sassy redhead because priorities. I repeat my story, and she sets up an x-ray for me, all while lecturing me on how important it is to have butt plugs with a wide base and plenty of lube. Obviously, she's flirting with me and doesn't actually care about the safety of my traumatized anus, right? When we go to the X-ray room, she insists on holding my gown for me at the neck. My ass is just out. I'm like, no, I can cover myself. But she marches me there bare ass without another word about it. I'm back in my room finally after making two ass out trips, and easily the most traffic portion of the ER. The doctor meets me in there, and he is a snack. This dude is 6'6" and handsome as hell. Why do these things keep happening to me? He goes, so I heard you lost something. He's pressing around my abdomen, making small talk. I ask him how his day is, and how his day was. And he goes, oh, well, you know, it's just a typical Wednesday. Same dude, same. Someone please kill me. Now, here's the meat and potatoes of the story. Are you still with me? You should be, because I'm hilarious, and these things happen to me, so you don't have to go through it yourself. Here we go. Doc snap lots of blood, as does my nurse. This could almost be an awesome kinky fantasy if this were an egg blocking the exit as my poop chute. Doc pulls out a fucking arm-sized container of lube. For these kind of things, you need watching lube. Glove. Lord have mercy. Next, he pulls out his scope. That means to slowly stretch out your anal muscles. I'm thinking this won't be too bad, right? As usual, I was dead wrong. He has me get on all fours in the bed, knees and elbows. I'm fully on display. I didn't see a casting couch anywhere, much to my disappointment. This is my life. He puts the scope in and starts doing his digging. He's rooting around, hemming and hawing until eventually he pulls out and tries using a finger. It's been about 20 minutes now, and at this point, I should just call him Daddy. He puts a hand on my ass. I'm going to try something else, and you're not going to like it. Before I have a chance to ask him what the hell he means, he fists me. His whole goddamn fucking arm is elbow deep inside my bunghole. This very large man is searching for gold in my exit cave. I shriek. The nurse comes running over, hands on my shoulders, shushing me and rubbing my head. Are you okay? The doctor asks, one fist to my asshole and the other holding me down so I don't run through the fucking wall like the Kool-Aid man. I'm fine, I say. Tears streaming down my face. Just a typical Wednesday. I laughed.
Oh my God.
The nurse laughed. My asshole laughed. His fist is still in my hershey hole. After a grueling few more minutes, he gets it out. I'm finally able to deflate. It's washed, put it in a neat biohazard bag, and I'm asked about like a keepsake copy of my X-ray. I said absolutely on my way out. I see nurses huddled around a computer with my X-ray on it. Oh my God, I would have freaked out, said a nurse. I popped my head over the counter. Oh, don't worry. I did. I retold the story to a great audience and waddled home at like 6-something in the morning. The end. P.S. If you enjoyed this story, tune in next week for the time I accidentally sent news to my dad and how I narrowly escaped paying for the resulting therapy for the rest of his life. Also, I made it so you can share it if you like.
Oh my God.
Scott, you're over there dying, aren't you?
Oh God. I was trying not to like lose it.
Dude, I'm sitting here losing it. Wow. Hold on, I'll show you guys the X-ray. Give me a minute. This is even more funnier. Okay, here's the fucking X-ray of this thing, and this is where I get confused.
Oh dude. Have you seen the X-ray of the quart jar at somebody's house?
This is the X-ray I'm about to show you. When you see this, that is the X-ray of the butt plug in this girl's butt.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm serious. I saw the X-ray. Like, oh my God.
She actually lost, and you can tell this is an actual person.
Yeah, because you can see their name and everything. Oh my God.
You can't see the last name, so in a minute.
Yeah, those are her legs. Look, the thing is in between her legs with leggings on. Oh my God, it's her.
Oh jeez. What is their hip got to spread or what? You know? I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
So, I'm dying.
I made everybody's fucking night, okay?
Oh, you did.
You know, I had seen one of those like lists that talked about things you should do during lockdown, and one of them was like laugh once a day. You know, have a good laugh.
Dude, that was my laugh yesterday, and I'm on the phone with Kenzie. It's actually this morning. I'm on the phone with Kenzie this morning, and I'm sitting here reading this, and she can see my face because I'm on video call with her, and I'm just fucking dying. She wants to know why I'm laughing so hard. I sent it to her, dude, within the first 10 minutes of her reading this, because that's like a 12-minute fucking story to read. Holy shit. And I'm just sitting there fucking laughing. My mom's looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. Kenzie's looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. Like I've just lost my schizophrenic fucking mind. And I sent it to her, dude. And she's rolling on the floor laughing her ass off.
Yeah.
We have to have something to look forward to right now, you know, but that would be the least of my worries. Like, how would you feel? Like, you just roll up to the ER and you're like, yeah, so, let's do
I
it.
got this problem.
Yeah, I got a big issue, man. Like,
Okay, I would say I've had worse. I transported 2 patients. Okay.
Sorry.
They decided to try something new within their sexual life, and they got stuck.
oh,
Right.
He had a dick piercing. He had his shaft
Oh,
piercing.
God.
It got caught inside of her.
oh,
But they could see the end of it from like what was left of his dick.
right.
And they could see where they could had to cut the piercing.
No.
Oh, gee.
Poor dude. They didn't even cut it off. They cut his dick like this.
No.
And I'm sitting there trying to not laugh my ass off because
Laced wieners, anyone?
like he's screaming in pain. This bitch is still moaning.
Oh,
There's
my
still
God.
in the back of the truck.
Oh my God.
So I'm sitting here going like, oh Lord, this is gonna be a fucking fantastic fucking night.
Yeah.
Boner on the way to work, anybody?
That's funny.
Dude, and like the shit that I've seen as a paramedic, it's all right. Someone got a 14-inch dildo shoved up their ass and stuck up there.
See, that's why I wouldn't want to do that job either, because then you'd get to see how stupid society is to some degree. Like what they'd actually put themselves through. And sometimes it just makes no sense.
Dude, but it's funny as like I don't know how I got amusement out of other people's pain. I don't get it. I push myself through that some days.
Excuse me, can I speak? You know, there's a lot of videos out there showing what some superhumans, quote unquote, can do with certain things. So people think that they can do that.
Bro, I don't want to hear superhuman shit. I was on the phone with Scarlett trying to start my show up, and I had to leave a group because some girl was getting penetrated by a horse dick.
Oh my God.
People are losing it slowly. I think that's also why they're like almost pushing to open these states back up quickly, because the general populace is losing their like last legitimate peace of mind.
Dude, I want to know how
Right.
I still have my sanity.
That's because you've been looking at this from a reality point of view, where everybody else was kind of stuck into a fog and still are, because they truly don't realize what's at stake or happening.
Right.
So, like, mistake number 1 of that story, we're going to go back to this for a minute, okay? I'm not going to read it, but we're just going to point out some faults here, okay?
Right.
Mistake number 1, you don't whore around with every other dude on Tinder.
Right?
Nope.
People are talking about that right now too, like how Tinder people are still hooking up on Tinder, and it's still out of control out there.
Mistake number 2, you don't buy sex toys off of Wish.
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
Mistake number 3, you don't tell a doctor what's in your butt till you get in the room.
Right?
Right.
Like, that's why I went around the nurse's station.
Discretion. You know, but that's something that a lot of people don't have anymore. They don't know how to be discreet.
No, they really honestly don't. I'm taking you guys upstairs.
No, everything is just so like in your face, and This is how it is. And so there's no discretion. There's no modesty.
Yeah, if you've got um, preferences, you should keep those to yourself, and within your own group, you should not be publicizing all that.
Right? I always feel like there's a time and place for that type of thing, and it's just some things are better left personal.
The safest one I've seen is boot fetish, right, or foot fetish. You know,
Yep.
like, it's the safest because you can be like have videos going of your feet and stuff. They like your feet and all that. You know, and these girls and guys, they make a lot of money doing that, and they don't have to contact anybody. You know,
Right.
like, where do you make the money?
Like, there's trained professionals in this category. Leave it to them.
Right.
Right.
Because they have, do you know how they train? Like in the S&M and all that? They have to be a slave and all that. They have to know the limits of their own body before they can even be a mistress or a master.
Yep.
They have to know the human body. They're like a health professional.
Right. Hey, Scarlett,
You know,
I'll be
they gotta know the human body. They gotta know what the limits are.
Yep. That's true. They do have to, and that's why they become, a confidant and, personal, like you said, almost like a health professional to that person because it is very personalized and you're not just
Yeah.
doing it on a whim. But a lot of people have taken it into the DIY category, and I just don't think that's healthy or always safe.
No, it's not. It's not. And it's like I was offered $400 an hour to go be a dom, dominatrix, down in Arizona. And I was like, nope, I don't know the people. I don't know anything about them. I'm not even going to go there. You know, because I'm about how personal health is. And I don't know who you are. I'm not just going to show up and you pay me because I don't know who you are. I don't know what your health condition is. I don't know any of that. You know,
Sorry, guys.
and it's like, yeah,
I'm back.
I'm not going to do that. And then I had somebody as simple. And then I had somebody as simple as just, hey, come over, I'll pay you $100. Let me rub your feet. I'm like, no, not going to do that either.
Right.
No. What I do is with the man that I'm with, and that's it. I don't deal with nobody else. That's it.
You know, right.
Well, it's so dangerous now too. It's not like people take it to extremes with the internet and
Right. And like Scarlett knows I moderate a BDSM group.
Right.
So on Thursdays, well, not anymore because I can work in a group 7 now because I'm leveling up. But so Scarlett, I learned of interesting thing, which I didn't know was a thing. Okay.
right.
It's called CNC, consent, non-consent.
Right.
So basically what it is, it's he's acting, you're both acting like so it's hard to explain. It's basically like rape play, I should say.
Right. That's right.
And I'm going like, why in someone's god fucking mind would they do that when that can possibly traumatize your relationship?
That's because it's been proven in like pornography and stuff that when you watch it, it then triggers your brain to need a bigger and bigger and bigger response. So the logical thing would be more daring and more risky acts, therefore following.
That's why you got child trafficking and stuff like that, especially with people with money.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. On the dark web and things, people put up lots of money for things like that because eventually their appetites for just what would be considered normal or even out there fetishes then turn into a dark side because at a certain point you just, can't get enough.
Right.
Right. Well, when I was a kid, I was very poor. Okay, and there were 10 households on a little street that I lived on,
Right.
and 6 of those are guilty of child molestation.
Right.
Just in 6 out of 10 in poor households. Now, what do you think money's going to do?
Right.
You know,
here's the thing.
Corrupt.
I can relate.
They will go for whatever they can get away with.
That's
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter money. It doesn't matter status. It doesn't matter anything. They will find a way.
And the thing is like me and my fiance, like Scarlett knows this, and she doesn't care if I talk about it. We're both into that into the BDSM community. And we started learning together, not on the dark side of things, not like on the extreme fucking dark side of things, thank God. I have seen some shit over the past couple weeks that I wish my eyes would have never fucking known. Lord Jesus. If I would have just heeded Scarlett's warning and never went in that group, I would have been okay.
told you, man.
So now my virgin eyes are really not virgin eyes anymore.
Poor Dwayne.
Right?
Like y'all don't understand. Like some of the shit.
No, I know it's like twisted shit. It's not just like normal vanilla stuff or even BDSM.
Dude, oh no, it's shit that's giving me nightmares, like flashbacks of what my dad did. Like,
Yeah,
holy shit.
it's pretty bad out there, and that's why I think people, a lot of people just don't want to hear it, and I think that's a problem because if it makes you feel uncomfortable, then you should be uncomfortable enough to, act upon that and try to change it.
Like, I'll give you
Not
an
just
example.
ignore it and act like it doesn't exist, right?
Right, like I'll give you an example. Like, hold on, Gail. So, like, I'll give you an example. Like, me and Scarlett were on the phone. What was it? Yesterday when I was telling you about that whole mooing situation?
Yeah.
There's this thing in the BDSM community that I didn't know about. It's called breeding, where they only have sex with you to get you pregnant.
Yep.
The lady signed a contract saying that they get to control what she does during birth. And she's having a home birth. Well, they want her to moo the whole time she's giving birth to the baby.
Whoa.
That's what I said.
That's cult. That's cult.
That's what I said, dude. And I was talking to my fiance about it because she can see what I see in that group because we're both in it.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a great discussion about this. And I'm like, I ain't doing half of the fucking shit that's in this group. She was like, yeah, we're just going to stick to strict bondage. Like, I get, like, there's the master slave community. I get, like, there's the dom sub, the daddy dom little girl shit. Which everyone thinks is pedophilia, but that's just age regressing where you escape to a different age to deal with a traumatic event. Most females I find like that anymore are like that, and it creeps me up. But after dealing with Julie with that, I'm okay. I can deal with that part. But anyways, half the shit that I see, like, holy fucking Christ. Like, one dude broke into his own house, grabbed said girl, put her in his truck with a bag over her head, and almost got shot by the cops. Because somebody called it in.
Well, yeah, that's creepy.
Have you seen the little Indian girl that's like 4 or 5 years old? And she's just sitting there. It's like, I don't think there's any sound from the one that I watched. But she's like 4 or 5 years old, and she was 4 or 5 years old, and she had been the bride of somebody, and she's just sitting there, and she's all beat up, just like, oh my God.
I shared a video like that, and I tagged Scarlett in it because I told her what was going on, and it was to see how the community reacted. Scarlett, it was like a 65-year-old man marrying a 14-year-old in the city of New York.
Yeah.
Remember that video I tagged you in, Scarlett?
Oh yeah, I remember that video. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Yeah, these people, I don't know why they think they can get away with these things, but it's because people also, allow it in the culture too, and people have to put a stop to these things.
Like,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
like
yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about the 17th letter of the alphabet, but I've gone down some rabbit holes, and I'm like, I'm a reality person, and I can see how it could all be,
what, the R word?
and
Letter R?
17th letter of the alphabet.
Q.
Yeah.
Oh no, God, oh no, oh no.
Q.
No, it makes you ask questions, and that's the main thing about it.
Yeah, that's
It's like,
true.
yeah, not that I follow or anything like that, but
Yeah, because I think too many people have gotten too obsessed with it.
See, and like
yeah,
and here's my thing behind it. Here's my thing behind all this, okay? Is if you're gonna partake in a lot of people and Scarlett, me, you, and Red's had this conversation before, okay? Like it was like my third night on air. The whole 50 Shades of Grey fucking movies. Okay.
Right.
Everybody fucking ties them movies into the community.
Right.
Scarlett, how many times have Red said that those movies do not portray the BDSM community, and that actually gives the BDSM community a really bad fucking name?
Well, yeah, because they were trying to basically normalize behavior that is abused. And that's dangerous for a lot of people who don't know any better.
Right. So, like, I can explain it this way. The 50 Shades of Grey movies basically set a mindset that the dominant has all control in a BDSM relationship. Let me tell you this from experience. You're fucking wrong. You're talking to a guy that's pansexual. I've been with a guy and a woman. Okay? I swing one way with guys. I'm a submissive. With girls, I'm fucking down and out of high hell. I don't know why. I know why with the whole guy thing, but I'm not going to go there. Scarlett, you understand that part.
I understand that part.
So, but the thing is, in a true BDSM relationship, the submissive has complete control. Okay? They have complete control of everything. They can say, like, subs have safe words in place. Like, I'll give you a common word that's used in the BDSM community as a safe word. Red. Once that fucking word is stopped, once that sub uses that word, you stop. You quit. You're done.
Right.
Because the submissive has the control in the relationship. Because, like, BDSM doesn't even have to be sexual. Okay? Like I explained this on one of my shows, is like, people doing this for attention now, people taking people out on the leash and the collar. Which me and Scarlett are starting to find that very weird because I'm starting to see it a lot more often. It's honestly really starting to scare the fuck out of me. But Scarlett, here's my thing, and I got a question for you on this, okay? You still there, Scarlett?
Yep.
So here's my question for you. With the way that BDSM has been taken and with the shit that I've even told you, which I can get in trouble for, how does that make you fucking feel? Like, what is your opinion on that, Scarlett?
Opinion on what?
So, like, the shit that I've told you, the CNC, the fucking, the whole master-slave bullshit.
Oh, right.
Like, what's your take on this? Because my take on it is that people are taking this way too far.
Well, yeah, and I think they're taking it too far because, like I said, the actions by design create, dopamine and other chemical reactions in the body and brain. Then the body and brain crave, therefore then making these people create more actions, so on and so forth. Not that people haven't engaged in activities like this since, the beginning of time similarly. But I just think the mindset and the entitlement that people have, I think is a danger. Basically, they're their own worst enemy.
Right.
Right. So if you take that microcosm and you put it out into the public, well, people need to be social and they need to be accepted.
Right.
Then you're taking control of them, because at 6 foot distance, you can't hug anybody.
Right.
You can't show them love. You can't do anything like that. So it's another form of this.
Right.
But it's such an emotional scale. They're controlling everybody. It's exactly what they're doing by deprivation of human contact.
And I want to show you guys something real quick. So, like, the most common thing that is used, once I set my ass back down, I see people using whips and chains, right? So, like, chains and, like dog harnesses to tie people up, Scarlet.
Yeah.
When medical professionals actually recommend this, what this is 100% satin cloth. It's completely soft. It is so hard to put a knot in this bitch. With it being satin, it just kind of slips. Right?
Right.
Medical, I've researched this shit since I've been in the community. Anytime somebody is bound, they don't recommend rope. They don't recommend chains. They don't recommend padlocking somebody, like which I've seen, which is fucked up. And just to padlock somebody or tie somebody down all day in a hotel room is fucking bullshit. They recommend this. See, in the BDSM culture, there is always a health explanation behind it from a medical professional. Right?
Right.
They recommend satin cloth. It leaves no marks. It doesn't hurt them, and you can't cut the circulation off with it. Because it only lets you tie so far with this before it bunches up. Like, I don't use this for this. This is actually one thing I use for my bow tie. It's not a bow tie, but I tie my bow tie out of this thing and I wear it sometimes. But this is what is used. This is commonly what was used before all this shit got taken out of proportion. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, how are we going to take a community that medical professionals have talked about and then completely disregard it? Like, a lot of things now, like, and I'll use this for example, gag balls are being made out of plastic.
Right.
When most are used out of silicone. Like, you see what I'm saying? There's so many interesting ways we can go with this. I don't know. I'm just tired of people trying to ruin a community that I'm a part of, and it's starting to kind of just piss me off.
Well, I think that when you have like all this, especially ever since the idea of fluidity or all those other ideas that have come into place, it's made it a harder place to exist.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's almost like united we stand, divided we fall. The more you fraction off people, the less connected they are. So the less tight-knit the community by design. So, I mean, that's kind of what you're getting right now, unfortunately.
Right, and it sucks because there's us people that actually practice the BDSM culture, then there's other people that don't.
But is it practicing BDSM culture, or are you just exploring things in your own relationship?
Actually exploring the BDSM culture.
Right, but are you though? Like, you have to really think about that, because what is the culture? If the majority of people are going off one way and people are going off another, is there a culture? Or
So
you get what I mean by that, right? Though, like,
right. So the original dynamics of BDSM actually came from the 1950s.
Always been around. You've got to think about, ancient times. These type of things were around.
Right, but the people that study traditional, we look at the 1950s.
And did that come out of those same creepy ass experiments from like Alfred Kinsey and other people, and as well as Aleister Crowley and others who did really weird sexual experiments to get these answers with the Institute of Sexual Health that Alfred Kinsey owned? So, I mean, and they coined him as the father of the sexual revolution. So with that being said, you might want to look into that a little bit more.
I've been studying the 1950s dynamic for about a year and a half, 2 years now. So the 1950s dynamics is when women really weren't working, right?
Correct.
Shit.
What'd you do?
I almost fell on the concrete floor and tipped my chair backwards because I stretched.
Get it together.
So the 1950s dynamics is basically when women still were not working and did not have that many women's rights. Women's rights really weren't developed until 1955. Or really being used more. They were, women's rights were established in 1940.
Like 1916 was like 1917 was like the right for women to vote. Wrong, Dwayne.
I'm talking about for rights for women in general, not just the right to vote.
I mean, yeah, well, women's rights movement came after the 50s, yes.
So with the fact of, the 1950s dynamic, it's kind of hard to explain. I'll send you the stuff that I have, Scarlett, so I can try to show you what I'm saying.
Right.
But, it's, and BDSM truly ain't about the sex part. It's still about the loving, caring, nurturing role that a dominant and submissive has for each other. And this is the one thing I hate when people put it down, but I'm trying to get off the subject because my head's going to fucking spin my tail.
Well, the thing is that intimate sex and how the human body works has been snuffed out, put down, and all that. I know we're supposed to procreate, and that was taken out with Roe versus Wade, and all that has happened. And people don't understand that sexuality is a part of the human body, and they've been so cut off that it's come to extremes to even feel anything because they don't know their own body.
True.
That's the way I see it.
Right.
I would agree with that, Gail. I would agree. That
I agree too.
There's a lack of knowledge and understanding. It creates a deficit and gap. Then, like I said, kind of fosters and feeds those dangerous situations.
Right.
People feel like porn is appropriate, like every relationship has it, or if you don't, there's something wrong with you. And people make this divide, this black and white, when it really is just more than that. So many people have opinions on what it should look like or what it should be like. But I think that that's the one area that we can get into a lot of danger with coordinating people off in certain categories.
Right, and we're gonna get back to this.
Did you know that Native Americans would match up a penis to the form of the vagina?
Oh, really?
They would match up couples.
That's interesting, but probably because what they thought would maybe fit together or what was best suited or something, like anatomically, or
thousands of years of because a certain shape works with a certain shape. It's like a piece in a puzzle.
Right. They
You
probably
know,
figured out
and
that these people ended up being fertile or something, I would assume. You know, with
right,
the shapes and this situation. But that makes a
exactly.
lot of sense though, because because you got to think about it. There's so much that we don't know. There's a lot of complexity in the body, and especially in those regions. They fuel a lot
Yeah,
of our bodily functions.
I got fixed after my second son, and I did it because my ex asked me to, but he's had like 6 other children since then.
Wow.
And it's like, I wish I hadn't done that
Right?
because I missed out, you know. Because there's, you know, it's like the husband I'm with now. I'd love to have a child with him.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
you know, I'm older now, but I could still, you know,
Hey,
I could,
Scarlett.
you know, we've been programmed to not procreate and just be sexual beings.
Yep.
Is what everything tells you. The modeling magazines, the freaking news,
Oh yeah. You can
everything is like
have an abortion,
yeah,
move on with your day
yeah,
because, you know, you have better things to do. You know, that's how they
yeah,
pay.
and they're putting academics or whatever because they want to brainwash you with academics into their own communist whatever they got going on. They don't want you to have children.
No.
You know, and that's what I've seen. I'm 55, you know, and it's like I've seen it, I've watched it. I'm like, I'm part of it. I'm like, oh my God, I actually went into this shit. I actually got brainwashed into doing this.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not happy.
I wouldn't be either,
I'm
but I
not
think
happy.
it's better you woke up now than never, right?
Right.
Well, right. You know, so it's like my great grandfather had 14 kids. My great grandfather had 12, and then my mother
Y'all still
only
here?
had 3. You know, it was like that's how fast it changed.
Right. Hey guys, since I haven't done this yet, I'm gonna go hurry up and do this real quick.
Okay.
So coronavirus cases, I haven't looked at my updates all day long, and I got an email from Myrtle Meters when they update.
Oh.
Coronavirus cases worldwide are 2,491,325, with a death total of 170,634. Recovered 653,722 worldwide. The U.S. is now reporting 792,000 total cases. New cases was 179 plus. Total deaths 42,518. New deaths for total recovered 72,389. Active cases 67,678,000. 31 serious critical is 13,951. Deaths is 128. Total tests administered in the U.S. as of right now is 4,027,367.
Okay, in my county,
367 with tests in New York. Give me 1 second to pull up the U.S. chart here. With
I have
the
50 deceased in my county.
With New York still leading the top number of cases of 252,994. California had 179 plus cases. California is the only one that reported new cases today.
In my county, El Paso County, Colorado, I have 734 cases with 50 deaths, and most of those are in nursing homes.
Scarlett, your state of the 10,000 lakes. As soon as I find it here, you're at 2,470. Total deaths 143. Active cases 1,003. Total tests administered 16,740. You guys aren't doing bad.
No, we've actually been testing people.
Charlotte,
Yeah,
With my state,
where are you at?
Minnesota.
with my state of the great.
Minnesota. I'm originally from Oklahoma, so Oklahoma is my home in my heart. But I'm in Colorado,
Right. Yeah.
and the county that I'm in has got the highest rate of deaths right now,
Mm.
which is El Paso. So I'm like, okay. So all these people went skiing up in the ski areas and stuff, and brought stuff back.
That's
It's pretty
true.
much
And
what
the ski areas already had outbreaks of, other diseases going on before coronavirus.
Right, and then
Yeah.
Scarlett, here's. Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
Oh, no, go ahead, Dwayne.
My count. Ohio has a count of 12,919. Total deaths 509. Active cases 12,290. Total cases of 1 million population 1,110. Total deaths of 1 million population 44. And this is out of 90,000 people that we tested. And then tests per million 100 tests per 1 million population is 7,803. So I'm starting to see a decrease in cases here, Scarlett. It's starting to kind of scare me.
Well, everybody's saying they're starting to see it kind of taper off. That's why a lot of these, I was surprised so many states tonight came out and said, oh no, we're going to open now. When, a day or two ago, that wasn't even going to be a possibility.
Right, like New York hasn't imported any. New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Illinois, Florida, Louisiana, Texas, Connecticut, Georgia, Maryland, Ohio, Washington, Indiana, Colorado. Out of all these states, the only people that are still reporting cases are California with 179 plus cases.
Right.
So it makes me wonder, still to this day, how many of these are true coronavirus cases and coronavirus deaths, or how many of these are related, non-related deaths that you just marked as coronavirus.
True.
But
Yeah, I work at a resort in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
One of the main health resorts. Okay, back in early February, and I had already been watching the coronavirus from December. I had one of my servers, I'm a dishwasher, had one of the servers get down really sick. And I found out from him that he had been serving a couple that were from Wuhan.
Oh, really?
yeah, that's
Yeah, real.
that's
And he had listened to the guy was on the phone, he said, and he was listening to the conversation, and he said, we're not going back for at least 3 months. We're not going back. Okay,
right.
so then we had a club member that came down with it. So then we got issued, you may have been exposed and all that. But we didn't get the issue of exposure till after March 17th, which was my last day. We got it a week later, which would be the March 21st week.
Wow.
So from February, early February, where he got sick, like really sick with the flu, his girlfriend was wanting to take him to the hospital and stuff, which they never got tested or anything like that.
Right.
So
At
that was
that
going
time,
on. And I'm
people
like,
weren't giving tests either.
yeah.
Right.
So,
But,
yeah.
but guys, it is that time.
All right.
Thank you guys for so much for tuning in to the Night Talk. With me as your host and Scarlett Anonymous as your co-host. Tonight's just been one. We were serious about the first hour and the last 2.5 hours. We've just really been dicking around. Which Scarlett, we haven't been able to do that in a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while, so it was good to let loose with you, Dwayne.
But
I love you guys. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
from the land, nope. I was about to say Scarlett. Shit. I'm sorry, Scarlett. I almost stole yours. from the seas to the skies, and from the great northeast eastern states of America. Good night, people. Scarlett, go ahead.
All right. And from the land of 10,000 lakes, good night, universe.
Gail, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
calling in. We hope you call in tomorrow. Since I did say last week, I'm doing a show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Stuck with it now.
At the base of Cheyenne Mountain, where our military, our leaders are quarantined right now. Good night.
Good night.
Have a good night, everybody. Make sure you tune in a few hours to the original Red Pill Show here on the Freedom Revolution Network.
Where things can go PG to rated X in 30 seconds. Watch out for Mel. She might snatch you.
Copy that.
Right? Copy that. All right. Well, from the land of 10,000 lakes again, good night, everyone.